Welcome back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today, little goblinoid creature has infected my computer. What are you doing here?
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Oh my God!
It is I, Brother Bro, the
from Raffums.
from. Oh wow, really deep knowledge on my history.
Like these are probably gonna be my last Oscar predictions until like right before the Oscar nominations start. I believe. I mean, I guess that kind of depends on when in January the Oscar nominations are happening. But maybe I could do it at the beginning of I could do it at the beginning of January. But yeah, there's a lot going on right now in terms of early precursors. Already, NBR and AFI are absolutely going nuts. Like throwing in some curveballs. HCA just happened. This is right before the Golden Globes, right before the major shortlists, even though one of them just got leaked yesterday, and it's already throwing so many wrenches into the whole mix. So, yeah, and so right now, I would say we have a very similar. I mean, maybe not. Okay, maybe not top seven, but. Or at least a top six. We have a very easy top six to have here. This is my predictions, and the red one is going to be Justin's. But yeah, where do you think? Like, obviously, top six, Oppenheimer, and whatever order we're thinking. Holdovers, Barbie, Poor Things, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro. Again, in whatever order they may be in. We'll go into that a little bit more, but. Yeah, where are we feeling about Oppenheimer right now? Right now as a front runner.
I think it's a kind of a 50-50 thing. I think it's very possible, and I would caution people who think that the trend of like some movie coming out and like stealing it from the bigger perceived movie is just not going to happen every single year. Like, yeah, it has been a pattern. It's been very strong. That's why I wouldn't give it more than like a 50% chance, but Oppenheimer is extremely strong, and we have the contenders, like they are here. So what you really have to do is make a case for why another film could beat it, and I think you need to make that case starting in the screenplay category if you really want to say like what else could win. So if you have a pitch for a movie that's an alternative to beating Oppenheimer, I want to hear that it's winning screenplay. Like that is my criteria for you, and if I can't see that, then I don't know. But there are a lot of films that could win screenplay, actually, that, could stand a chance to win Best Picture. And I think Poor Things, Barbie could take it. Those are the two films that I think have a chance. And then I would say there's a very outside shot for American Fiction because I think that can win screenplay. And that would be like a Coda scenario where no one sees it coming and it's like very bizarre. So I'm going to give it like low odds, but I think it could maybe win, but probably not. I'm not calling it Coda. I'm just saying, out of all the possibilities, I think those are like four that could maybe win. I can't really see anything else winning, including Killers. I can't really see that winning.
Yeah, honestly, like, unless maybe there's like a Lily Gladstone win, which maybe that happens. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's like there's a good chance Killers might just end up being the Irishman and get goose egged. Right now, I do agree that Oppenheimer, we have not really seen a Oscar juggernaut like this in years, or maybe maybe a decade or so, because like
yeah.
There's so many wins that this was winning, and a little bit spoilers for later on. I wasn't even considering it to get a nomination for visual effects, which again we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's like
good for you for not backing down.
Oh yeah, look, I like the moment Cole said the number of visual effects artists, even if he was a little bit off, I was like, all right, yeah, no, everything started to click in my head, but. Yeah, even without visual effects on the table, I knew it was going to win like a ton of Oscars, and to be honest, like Christopher Nolan is my favorite director of all time. So seeing him win that Oscar after all these years is going to make my little heart happy. But Oppenheimer, it just seems too strong. It's like the one thing that, because like it's definitely at this point not Power of the Dog or Roma, because audiences are in love with this movie, and I mean this in the best way possible, because I'm one of these people. People will not shut up about Oppenheimer. Like the 4K Blu-rays sold out instantly. Like, I've never seen a movie do that. And I even bought the 4K Blu-ray of Endgame. And that was, like, one of the most hyped-up films of all time. So, like, the fact that Oppenheimer did that, it's like, and making over $950 million. And, I mean, who knows how much money it's going to make in Japan next year, since it's going to be releasing in Japan. But that might cross it to $1 billion. Who knows? Again, we'll have to see. But, like, no drama makes this kind of money. Even Killers of the Flower Moon has still made nowhere near as much money as this movie did. And
oh yeah.
And again, the audience passion for Oppenheimer is so through the roof, where like the scores are really, really good, and people are just as excited about this as like any other Nolan film, despite this being an R-rated 3-hour drama where it's just dudes in suits talking about science and politics. Like, well,
there's your counter argument right there.
It's like, exactly. It's like,
well, counter argument though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like why it maybe isn't the Best Picture ultimate winner.
But again, that's the thing.
You're making a lot of good points though. Keep going.
The thing is, despite being those things, it's done in a way that audiences have just gravitated towards. So. Yeah. I just don't know what could, like, the only maybe feel-good movie I feel like could beat Oppenheimer, and I've been saying this for a while, maybe The Holdovers, because I can't find a single person who hasn't at least liked this movie. Like, everyone seems to really love The Holdovers. It makes your heart happy. And again, it does have an argument for original screenplay and supporting actress, and that's already a good combination to have. But again, I just don't know, at least as of right now, if it's strong enough to beat Oppenheimer right now. Because it's...
So I definitely... I have a feeling like Holdovers is hard to say it's like your favorite movie of the year, even though everybody likes it, like across the board. It's really hard to find someone who dislikes the movie. I don't feel like it has a strong enough narrative or a case to say, like, I should win Best Picture. Like, it just feels like a very good movie. So that's why I'm not sure. I don't take it seriously for winning, although like, yeah, screenplay and supporting actress are floating around in there. This could land director and editing. It could have a great turnout, but I don't know if it's like win passion. More again, like Oscar nomination lock passion.
I mean, yeah, like I'm not saying it's absolutely a lock. I mean, because again, Oppenheimer is just that strong. It's just like with Holdovers, it's like I feel like it would do extraordinarily well on a preferential ballot. Like that's the thing. People would have it really high up, and I've already seen a lot of people, like for example, like Zoe Rose Bryant talking about how her mom loved like Holdovers and made her cry. And it's like
it's for the parents. It's for the moms.
Exactly. Like if it can make your parents cry. It does, like, that's a good reason. Again, I don't know if I don't think it's strong, at least as of right now, I don't think it's strong enough to win against Oppenheimer. But that's why I have Holdovers as my 2. But I think if you don't want to go with Holdovers, or at the very least, if someone weren't want to go with Holdovers, honestly, I think there's a good argument for Barbie. Because, like, it does have, like, a potential supporting actor and screenplay win combo, but you know, I'm really wanting to see if this movie is passionate enough. It does have that big passion. Because I don't know. I don't think this is gonna do well at BAFTA at all. I don't know. I think so.
You know, when we're honing in on like the win conversation, it really has to be about what people feel like they're voting for, and what they feel like a film represents. So Oppenheimer, I think, is riding this, like, especially with the way they're like talking about the Blu-ray. It's really riding the savior of cinema narrative, like bringing people back to the movies, and you know, I think, and I think that's probably its number one narrative, and then secondarily, maybe like you have this reckoning with like the whole nuclear weapons thing, and we do have like some wars going on that people are very concerned with, which feel like out of place for today. But then like the movie's a sort of reminder that we're like, that's our current place in the present and not just in the past. So there's a couple really strong features of Oppenheimer that like, that's what you're voting for. It's not just about the movie when it comes to like voting for Best Picture. Holdovers I don't see where that like what you're voting for that's bigger than the movie is. Barbie, there's something there. Like, it can sort of pose as like the savior of the movies. It brought people back to like the blockbuster. But more than that, it's like a feminist treatise, I suppose. And I think, and then Poor Things is like teetering somewhere where I'm not sure. I think it could possibly get like a narrative about being very life affirming and feminist, but I don't know if I feel as confident in that as I did before when I said that Poor Things could win, or like was my number one. I think Oppenheimer is probably back at number one. And lastly, I think, American Fiction has a narrative behind that for sure, because that movie's saying something that you don't really hear a lot, and in like a similar way to Get Out, kind of skewers the liberal like acceptance movement, and also is a really easy message to get behind. I almost worry that like people are gonna, not worry, but I think people are gonna see themselves in Jeffrey Wright no matter where they are in the political spectrum, which is like a little interesting and like a little strange, but would help the movie. Like they'd see themselves as being like on the outside critiquing like the way other people are handling the racial discourse around like representation, even if they're not actually in line with what he thinks in the movie.
I wish I could have seen American Fiction.
Yeah, you probably can't like elaborate, right? Because you haven't seen it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one of the cool kids yet.
Okay.
With screeners and stuff. I briefly going back to Oppenheimer, it does have another thing going for it that I feel like it has, which is something that I think you guys kind of touched on when you initially reviewed it, which was, you could also read into a lot of what's going on in the film to stuff that's going on today, where even if it's not an exact one-to-one, you can sort of see it. Like, for example, the nuke, like the danger of the nukes potentially being, we could almost see that being AI and how that's taking over. And, and the whole political side of Oppenheimer and how you could maybe relate that to today. Like, there's so much, I feel like there is a lot that you could maybe read into, because it is a big spectacle, and unlike something like Top Gun Maverick, it does have the above-the-line potential to back that up. So there is that. And like Poor Things is interesting. Sadly it's still not come to a theater near me. God, I'm so like, I read that it was December 22nd, and I'm like, why why does that have to be the wide release? So
you poor thing.
I think with Poor Things, I think Poor Things versus Barbie, this might be what's going on in my head. Barbie might do well over here in the United States more, whereas Poor Things, if internationally it's not doing well with like international voters, like for example, I'm very sure Barbie's not going to do well at BAFTA. Poor Things would be like that alternative for them, I feel. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on maybe that theory?
I agree that like Barbie ain't winning the BAFTA. Is that kind of what we're going with? Yeah. I mean, I think it could be Poor Things or Oppenheimer for the BAFTA. Yeah.
Like my thing is like I'm wondering if like, my thing was like, I'm thinking maybe Barbie in American awards circuits like the Oscars and Critics' Choice, like Barbie might favor better, and then internationally, whether it's like the Golden Globes and the BAFTAs, that's where Poor Things does better. And so that's why I personally have Barbie above Poor Things here, because I feel like it is like, it's a little bit more contemporary, yet it's also kind of weird. But it's also, again, I'm assuming has similar kind of feminist, themes in it, like Poor Things. I mean, obviously I've seen Barbie, but not Poor Things.
Yeah. I think I agree with what you're saying. I guess it's worth noting the other narrative I could see taking shape is like Killers of the Flower Moon being an important movie for, portraying history that has been buried, and that's absolutely like there. But I have a feeling like, you know, the criticism or I think that might go towards Lily Gladstone winning the award more so than the film itself, because it's been acknowledged that the film itself is mostly like a story about evil white men. I don't think that's like inherently bad, but you know, I think that it prevents the movie from feeling like, wow, this is like the key example, the prime example of representation at the movies or among the Best Picture nominees. It'd be like a little different if the film was from like a native perspective. I think then you could fully say that that narrative is there, but I think it's more like where we're seeing the passion for Lily Gladstone. And I also just think Killers is way too long for most people to think it's their like favorite number one of the year, especially like the people who watch movies at home. Like, good luck to you. I have a hard time like watching movies for 3.5 hours on my couch.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, and like, yeah, that's why I don't think Poor Things is winning either, because I don't know if there's a lot of, even though the movie does make you feel bad, I don't know if there's passion behind that, if you know what I mean, like passion behind, you know, wanting to vote for that, like yeah,
I'm kind of trying to see it. I think we're gonna have to like see how people are feeling about the movie after it comes out.
Oh, on Apple TV Plus.
Wait, are we talking about Killers or Poor Things?
No, Killers.
Oh, never mind.
Because like I don't know, like Killers does make you feel bad, but again, like Oppenheimer, that's a movie that makes you feel bad, but that thrilled people. Like they I don't want to say they liked feeling bad, but it's like there's if we're talking about a movie that makes you feel bad, again, Oppenheimer is just that stronger film, like more than Killers of the Flower Moon. Even if Killers of the Flower Moon is taking on, you know, a lot of really big issues and stuff. There, like, I just haven't, like, when Killers of the Flower Moon came out, it's just, you know, it was a thing, and then like about a week later, everyone stopped talking about it, and it's like, what happened to this movie? It's like, that's why I'm thinking.
Well, the Critics Awards are actually really showering it right now, so it is doing quite well with those. But I do think it's more about like, I think it's a lot about the length and people feeling like, you know, you're sort of like repeating yourself after a while. But that might just be my own perception, because that's kind of how I felt about the movie. I guess I in thinking back on like what I was saying about the narrative, I actually think Killers of the Flower Moon does have one of the most convincing arguments for like most important movie, because, you know, I probably like too much reduced it to like, oh well, the cast, you know, being white like diminishes the importance in some way. Like, I wasn't trying to say that.
I didn't assume it. I didn't think any of it.
But really, like, I mean, it is a good, I don't know, maybe it's not like that deep, but like it's definitely a dissection of like power and how like, you know, groups in power like just completely exploit and like demolish other groups without like batting an eye, which is very important. So, you know what, like now that I say that, it's almost surprising that I'm feeling like Killers is not higher. No, but at the same time, what you're saying is absolutely true. It's like, it does have the ingredients, but again, it has
passion
the ingredients
behind it. I don't know if there's a lot of, because obviously Marty's not winning director, and I don't think this is winning adapted screenplay either. So I think it's either Gladstone or nothing. So I guess I would agree with you. It's not as much what I was saying about it lacking ingredients. It's got the ingredients, but it doesn't have the passion, that passion behind it.
Except for by critics, which I'm not gonna say. I'm not convinced that's gonna translate to like, you know, people who aren't critics.
Oh yeah, no, I completely get what you're saying. I do agree. Like, obviously, critics are going bananas over this one, and even I think it was a pretty great movie. I'm just like, it's just I don't know how many wins it can overall take later in the game, but yeah, Maestro. I think, like, obviously it's not winning, but it's securely in there, I would say.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Not too much to say, but I really liked Maestro. As I was surprised about how much I liked it, I was like, this is so well made and so well like acted. I don't see how this could could miss. It feels like a movie that, if it was loved just a little more, we'd be expecting like 10 plus nominations. But I think we, don't feel like it's necessarily like a top 5. So maybe it's not quite like a 10 nomination movie. But there's just the crafts and everything about it makes it like very in there as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. It's going to win at least at minimum. It's going to win at least makeup. I still think lead actor is going to happen, but it's like
I think so.
I would it's securely in there. Oh wait a minute, hold on. Oh nope. Oh wait, no. Oh, oops, wrong one. Oopsies.
Oh my God, spoiler.
Oh, what did I do? But yeah, let's see. I was worried about Past Lives at first, but it's showing up everywhere it needs to be right now. Like Past Lives.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of expected, like how, Past Lives is not going to miss any of these precursors. It's going to do very well, and it's I don't really think it's going to expect to miss until, like, maybe it gets snubbed at the SAGs for every award, which is possible that it just doesn't get any nominations. But that's really the only point where I think it could miss. Like, it should do well everywhere else. BAFTA maybe because they only have 5 slots, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I think about BAFTA.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally don't think it's going to make it at BAFTA, but even then, I wouldn't be pulling all the alarms going, oh no, like, we got to tear everything down for Past Lives.
Yeah, I think with 10 slots, like, sure, BAFTA would do it. Why not?
Oh, yeah.
I think even PGA is going to do it.
Oh, I would be shocked if PGA didn't do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like again, I was worried about Past Lives because I was like, I don't know, but it's like, it is showing up everywhere it needs to be right now. It's probably not winning anything, but it's showing up. So there is that. And so and then there's the question of American Fiction. I have American Fiction just outside of my predictions but to be fair, other than the Zone of Interest, I don't know what's going on with those final 2 slots. You have it at number 7, but
yes.
and we've talked
it's doing well right now. It's getting the nominations it's supposed to get at this moment. Like, people are going out for it.
Yeah, the only reason why I don't have it in is because I don't have it in adapted screenplay right now, and it's gonna make sense later, like a little, but it's like. But right now, if I don't have it in adapted screenplay, why would I have it in picture? But again,
okay. Well, let's save that for screenplay. But I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah,
considering I think it's number 1, we're gonna have a fun disagreement over that.
Oh boy! Again, like, it's not even. We'll have to see. It's just a matter of, like, I don't know what's going on.
Fair enough. You just don't know what to do.
Right now,
you're a poor lost soul.
Oh man, yeah. Right now, I'm still like, I'm thinking Zone of Interest is safe, and I'll probably, or at the very least, I do think it's gonna get in. You have it right outside your top 10.
Yeah. Safe is a strong word.
Okay, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have used safe.
I could absolutely still make the case for it. Yeah, I think there's definitely still a case for it. And I was saying this, I think in our most recent video, that Zone of Interest feels like, for people losing faith because it's not picking up nominations right now, well, it hasn't come out yet. And there sometimes is room for films late breaking in the year to garner some support. Like Phantom Thread is an example. Film that did really well, was very acclaimed, but like just kind of missed out with the earlier awards. I mean, it didn't premiere, so it's a little bit different, but nonetheless, like, it had a great turnout at the Oscars despite everything. And then All Quiet was a huge late surging movie. Like, Zone, I think, should be nominated in certain tech categories, and we haven't even seen it be popping up there. I think Critics' Choice are likely to leave it out of a lot of categories, unfortunately. And even at that, All Quiet was left out of cinematography and sound at the Critics' Choice. And, sort of like egregiously, because I think a lot of them had seen it and just weren't perceiving it as a contender. And then even The Father, I think, missed Critics' Choice. It wasn't doing amazing in the beginning of the year. Yeah, and it ended up doing extremely well at the Oscars. And Triangle of Sadness is the last example. So I'm not going to say just because, people aren't going for it right now that the tide couldn't turn for it later when we see shortlists and BAFTA. I think those two things are going to be what what we should really be looking at, and we have to wait for that. And we also should just wait for people to see it. So
my thing with the zone of interest is that I've been kind of, at least for like maybe like half a month now, or maybe more, I've been anticipating that it's not really gonna show up until BAFTA, because one thing I've kind of noticed with international films, unless you're like in contention to win, like Parasite or Roma, you don't really show up in a lot of earlier precursors in the until BAFTA, because that BAFTA will, like, for example, Drive My Car did not really show up. Obviously, a lot of them were getting like the international categories and stuff. I mean, like outside of that, you know, Drive My Car didn't.
That's a good example too.
Yeah, Drive My Car, All Quiet. I'm not sure if I want to say Triangle of Sadness either, because it did get comedy musical at the Globes, so it was always kind of maybe a thing.
That's like when you consider that the Critics' Choice shut it out, and that the Golden Globes, like, well, I guess, you know, comedy musical in like a number 5 slot, you know, it's not too much, but
it was just because I'm trying to think of what I was trying to say, but there was also, you know, Cold War didn't really,
that's true.
And there was also even Amore, I found out, like, you know, didn't really show up for like director.
That's correct.
So that's why I still think Zone of Interest is going to be in, despite, you know,
or another round for director.
Exactly. Why did I forget about that? Another round. That was another one. It didn't show up very prominently until the BAFTAs, and
it didn't get like any director nominations anywhere. Just like Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, exactly. And
or did it maybe? I think it maybe got director of BAFTA. I'm not sure.
No, it did get director of BAFTA. That's what I'm saying. It didn't show up until BAFTA.
Yeah, so, and BAFTA, like, I think they're going to do it. I mean, it's a British film. It's their submission to the Oscars this year for international, which is weird because, you know, usually their films are in English. But, like, they're gonna do something with Zone of Interest. They're gonna do something.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying.
The reason I have it at number 11 is because I'm like, Color Purple is, you know, I think that's gonna get in. Like, Cole's been telling me that's like a little on the cusp. I don't know why we would think it's on the cusp. I feel like there's definitely a place for like the mom musical of the year, the feel good musical, and Anatomy of a Fall, I guess, is the one I'm reckoning with. Given that it's really sweeping the international categories, I expect that if this was at the Oscars, it would also win. So I can't really justify saying Zone of Interest is over Anatomy of a Fall. If I think if they were competing in international, I would pick Anatomy of a Fall as the winner. I would predict that. Can't really justify putting it over that. So I guess that's why it's right on the outside of the fence. You know, just as in the movie, the characters live right outside of a fence. But yeah.
The reason why I've been very hesitant on Anatomy of a Fall, and again, I'm not one of the cool kids, I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know, it's just that thing of murder mystery that's just like, are they really going to touch that? Even if I'm expecting it to be great, but it's like, I don't know, that murder mystery thing just doesn't sit well with me. It's like,
I hear you on that, but it's a little bit, like, I think you're a little influenced by the trailers because that's what they're trying to appeal to in the trailer. They're trying to make it look like it's a crime, like, a true crime movie. It almost looks like a true crime movie with like the way they're using the photos in the trailer. I love the trailer, but it's not exactly like that. It really plays like a straight up drama. It plays like a dissection of marriage, you know, a courtroom dissection of marriage, more so than like a mystery thriller. Even though the trailer kind of baits you to expect that.
Again, like I this is why I really wish I was able to see these movies, because I'm just like, if I had the context, I would, because like on paper, it just seems like the Zone of Interest would appeal to Oscar voters a lot more.
See, and there's where like that's actually not that true, because on paper Zone of Interest looks good, but when you actually watch the movie, I think you might be surprised, you know, in another way that Zone of Interest is like very much artsy. An art piece. It doesn't want you to empathize with the character. It doesn't want you to like feel the characters. Like it doesn't take you on a journey with the characters. It just doesn't.
That's what I've been anticipating. That's what I have. Yeah. The thing is, I have been anticipating all of this. It's just, it's just like, you know, I don't know. It's because it feels like the Oscars have gone a little bit more art house in recent years, like with Drive My Car and stuff.
They've definitely opened to it. They've definitely opened up to other movies to the point where I think, why shouldn't we consider that this could get into?
Yeah, again, like that's
personally, I think Zone of Interest is the most important film this year, to me at least, but also like I think the film means something great and very important about human beings, and I think we can see it everywhere we look around the world, but that's just me. Not everyone's going to see that because people are going to be feel isolated by it.
This movie is, I feel like with whenever I see Zone of Interest, I'm either going to be like glued to the screen or extremely bored. I'm hoping it's the first one, because I really don't want to be bored by this movie, because again, on paper it looks so good and like so disturbing, it sounds a little out of context that sounds kind of morbid, like, oh man, I can't wait to see how disturbing this movie is.
Hey, you're excited for a movie. Let's just leave it at that. But I know what you mean. It's like weird to be excited for the movie when you're like, oh, I know what it's trying to give me.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see where this movie goes.
Yeah.
And then there's The Color Purple, which I don't know what to do with The Color Purple. Like I'm thinking I still have it in my top 10, but like it missed AFI and NBR despite the fact that critics have seen it. That's weird to me.
NBR, I fucking don't care about NBR because it doesn't. There's always 4 or 5 Best Picture movies that are left out. Always. So, it almost makes you think, okay, well, if I know there's movies left out, then I should like subtract from and see like what's not there that I could justify putting in, because like it's just not going to correlate. Like it's not going to be 7 out of 10. It's not going to be 8 out of 10. Probably like 6.
Yeah, like I said,
a small chance it could be 7.
Yeah,
out of 11.
Like I said, I still do have it in, obviously. So it's like, we both have it in.
I wouldn't count it as a loss. And the AFI is a little curious, but I have noticed the AFI will leave out one Best Picture movie at least a year, and not from it just being like British or something. Like they'll actually leave out something they could have nominated, like The Revenant. I remember was something they left out, and that might have been a late movie issue, but I don't think it precludes it from a nomination.
That would be.
They also didn't nominate Air.
That would be. Wait, what? What about Air?
The other movie they didn't nominate was Air.
Yeah, that Air was also weird, which is also, I guess, that's kind of a segue into me putting Air at number 10. Which again, I don't know why. Like, it is also very weird that it missed National Board of Review and AFI, but I don't know. Like, I did see Air. I did really enjoy it, and it is a very righty movie, and it does have a nice ensemble. And like,
wait, I've had National Board of Review.
I think it did mesh National Board of Review.
That just feels wrong in like every single way.
Yeah, that's why I can't. That's why I was conflicted on like whether to put Air in or American Fiction in, because it's like I have Air in for screenplay, but right now I don't have American Fiction in for screenplay. So it's like that's why they're kind of at like they're basically neck and neck at this point. I just don't know what to do with these movies, because like why did the National Board of Review not go for Air? So it's like
that's kind of strange. Yeah, that's funny, because in my head I was like, yeah, it's probably one of them. I guess I didn't memorize them closely enough. But yeah, I don't know about Air. I think even if it does well in awards prior to the Oscars, I think it still might just not get nominated at the Oscars. It kind of like being the Ricardos or something. Like it did decently, but
the one thing I would knock being the Ricardos off of outside like against Air is that Air was received better than Ricardos. And
yeah,
granted,
for sure.
Yeah,
it was more well liked.
Yeah, and unlike unlike Ricardo's, I feel like this would be like. Granted, I'm trying to remember what other movies Amazon had that year, but it does seem like Amazon's good. Like for this year at least, Air is their big priority right now. Like trying to push Air, because like Saltburn kind of died. I don't know.
Not quite, but it's sort of like crawling on the ground.
Yeah, it's just mortally wounded.
It's just wounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's missing a leg.
And I think that we do have the same top 12, even if they are, in different places.
Yeah.
Then I have Anatomy of a Fall and number 12. Okay, which one do you want to talk about first? Spider-Verse or May December?
Let's talk about Spider-Verse, because something interesting has happened with that. Like, I actually wouldn't be opposed to ordering my 13 and 14 the same way as you, because Spider-Verse getting the HCA nominations makes me strongly believe that it's going to get Critics' Choice nominations, even though I gave up thinking that was going to happen. So, if that happens, I think it's somewhere, and we can't discount it. And then if it gets score at the Globes, I think that's very important. Just to sprinkle itself a little bit, because other than that, I think we'd have to look at PGA as like the next thing it could get nominated for. I don't expect the BAFTAs to do... I mean, the BAFTAs could do a tech or two. And the last thing that Spider-Verse has going for it is that it is being considered for visual effects, and we know that from the visual effects like, info drop, 20 out of 20 movies.
Yeah, and here's the thing. For me to maybe consider Spider-Verse again, like to put it like maybe back in, it can't just get like a few nominations at Critics' Choice, because like there are like one thing that I kind of noted was that Uncut Gems and RRR, they had the least amount of nominations out of all the Best Picture nominees. I mean, RRR if you don't count a foreign language film, because it was inevitably going to get that, but it's like RRR, it only had Best Picture, Best Original Song, Best Director, and Best Visual Effects. Uncut Gems, Picture, Director, Actor, Editing. That's not a lot, considering how much the Critics' Choice love to give nominations to all of their their Best Picture nominees. So, like, if Spider-Verse were to get, like, you know, Picture, Score, and Visual Effects, that would not be enough for me. It would, again, outside of Animated Feature, because, that's a given. But if it were to get, like, also maybe Screenplay, and song or even editing, if it were to get that, I'd be like, okay, maybe I should be taking this seriously again.
I think the only thing I'm gonna need to see is like I want to, if I get 2 techs and Screenplay for Spider-Verse at the Critics' Choice, I'll be like, that's moving right along. I don't necessarily need like 6 nominations, but that's decent enough. But I still think you're right that RRR is the right comparison here, because it's hard to put Spider-Verse in a lot of categories. Like, it's just still kind of hard. Even sound is not very convincing to me. Like, that we get nominated
Critics'
there.
Choice the thing is, Critics' Choice don't have sound. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like... So that's what I'm saying. Like, if it, the reason why I was mentioning, like, if it, like, it needs to get a lot of nominations at Critics' Choice, because, like I said, the Critics' Choice love to nominate, like, their Best Picture nominees for, like, everything. I mean, good God, they gave Tar's Score for, like, no reason whatsoever. So it's like, if Spider-Verse can overperform Uncut Gems and RRR, I think it's stronger than both those movies. And so there is that. I'm hoping...
RRR, I mean, it could be like that in the sense that when the shortlists drop, if it's in or out, we'll be able to know from whether it's being shortlisted.
Yeah, if it's in a lot of shortlists, then that's a good sign. That'd be a really good sign. Even though Pinocchio was in a few of them, and that literally only got 1 nomination, which upset. I was so upset when Pinocchio got stuck.
I really liked Pinocchio. That sucked. I don't know where that went.
No Chow Papa, no Score. Like, they nominated, granted, like... I know a lot of people were really into the score for Everything Everywhere. I couldn't tell you a single note from that, so I was like, really? That
you couldn't whistle it.
Wait, what?
You couldn't whistle it.
Yeah, I couldn't whistle it. Like, whereas with Pinocchio, I mean, good God, I listen to Carlo's theme all the time. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then there's May December. I think it's having a moment right now, but I don't know if that's going to translate. I don't know if it's going to translate later.
Possibly maybe that's, well, partly because I think it's a really good movie, but maybe it's also because that's just what happens on Netflix, right? Like, when you drop something on Netflix, everybody has the chance to see it immediately, and they all watch it within like 3 days, and then everybody's tweeting and liking because they just saw it. So, in that sense, like, the release strategy makes that moment happen, and maybe that's, something to anticipate in the future. But I don't know. I'm not convinced this gets Best Picture, even though it's having this nice moment. Like, I still think the Critics' Choice might not even nominate that thing.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of those people are the ones making those tweets. I would certainly nominate that in a lineup of 10, like it's one of my favorites this year. But I think that's probably going to go towards, like, it's definitely going to get some acting, one or two, and then screenplay, it's sort of like a 50-50 right now, I think, whether it gets screenplay at the Oscars. But I think it has, well, we'll talk about that later, but I think it's more of a screenplay actor player. I just have a harder time seeing it get Best Picture when it's this, like, this strange and, you know, I don't know what to do with it kind of movie.
And there's so many other maybe contenders like Air or Zone of Interest or Anatomy of a Fall or Spider-Verse. I feel like it's probably too much for May, December. And then, you know, and that's all for my Best Picture predictions. But what about your stances on, like, Society of the Snow and Iron Claw?
Well, so Society of the Snow is going to be considered for Tex, and it could possibly win International Feature. And that's my basis for saying that might, you know, get nominated for Best Picture, right? Like, I don't have it in, but the fact that I am starting to predict it in Tex, and I think there's, like, makeup, cinematography at its best day, score, very possible for score, and, like, maybe a VFX, and sound. Sound is also very possible for that. So it also seems like a very crowd-pleasing, feel-good movie. So that might win International Feature. And that would make me put it in my list right there, just saying it can win International Feature.
The movie where people eat the corpses of other people is feel-good.
I don't know. It seems like an inspiring movie, though, doesn't it? Like Inspiring Survival 127 Hours movie.
Yeah. Like,
maybe I haven't seen it, though, so maybe it, you know, makes you feel like dog shit at the end. I don't know. Yeah. But it seems like technically impressive. People seem to be very impressed by it, and it seems like an agreeable watch, like anybody would, you know. And it gives inspirational vibes. So that's where I'm at with that movie. But I still think Anatomy of a Fall is stronger, obviously, in like an international sense, and you know, Zone of Interest would have to really underperform for Society of the Snow to take it over it, but it could. And then Iron Claw, I think it's sort of performed as I expected at like National Board of Review. Didn't get any HCA, but I think that movie's gonna pop up in the Golden Globes possibly for drama, and then I think we're all gonna have it in like the top 15 or something.
Sure. Yeah. So, probably. I do want to see the Iron Claw. It does. Like, I've heard it's more heartwarming than you would think.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's actually really good. So.
Yeah. And yeah, in the other categories, I'm not going to be as detailed. Although maybe once we get to visual effects, like that's the big thing for me. But it's like director. All right, Nolan's winning. I don't think that's any real I don't think that's a really controversial thought here. But yeah, it's Nolan's year, and I'm really excited for that. Wait, if I'm not mistaken, we have the exact same top 5, just in different orders. Like, yeah,
why don't you talk about how Jonathan Glazer's your number 2?
I don't know, because
he's not a lock for a nomination, but I guess you're seeing him get into
Like, the thing is, like, the fact that I can definitely see him getting in at BAFTA, I feel like would be and there's even a chance he wins at BAFTA, maybe, like something crazy, like, because I think over at BAFTA, if there was ever going to be someone that could beat Christopher Nolan, it might be Jonathan Glazer, because I do expect the BAFTAs to really love Zone of Interest, and unlike someone like Edward Berger, Jonathan Glazer has been established, and again, as you said, the movie is apparently very, very important. And the craft behind it is really, really well done. And so that's why I've kind of thought, all right, I feel like if there was anyone to make an argument to win over Christopher Nolan, it might be Jonathan Glazer. But again, I'm not personally focused too much on the order here, because it's like, because Nolan's winning this in the handbasket, easily. But again, I'm not gonna blame anyone if they have, Yorgos Lanthimos over him for Poor Things and stuff.
I still think it's so his year. Like, oh my god, I don't think you could have a better case for it. And Lanthimos being number 2 is fair. I think that's probably where he's at.
I don't blame you.
I'm feeling increasingly nervous about having Greta Gerwig at number 6, because I'm not predicting her to be snubbed anywhere except for the BAFTA. and the Oscar right now. Like, I expect she'll get in a Golden Globe and Critics' Choice easily. And there might be a real riot if she's not nominated at the Oscars. A real riot.
Oh, wow,
that would be insane. And, you know, unfortunately, though, I could see it as being the kind of movie that the notoriously snobby director's branch might snub. Although I do like what the director's branch generally does. And I like that they seem to think with, like, a different mind than the other categories, because it's a little refreshing. You don't want everything to be like a monolith. But yeah, so I guess that's where I see. I mean, it's very hard for me to put her at number 6 when I could see Barbie like doing so well and being just one of everyone's favorite movies this year. But I do think that she can miss BAFTA and then Oscar.
Yeah, I'm not even. I don't even think I put her in my Globes predictions because I'm kind of concerned over, again, I'm worried how internationally Barbie's gonna do, and so it's like, are they gonna click with Barbie as much as we do here? Because I am obviously, you know, Critics' Choice easy, and Directors Guild, probably.
Oh yeah, Directors Guild too, probably. Yeah.
And the reason why I have like Bradley Cooper in as my number 6 is because people are saying there is a chance that it could win actor and actress. And it would be very strange if he missed director for that. If there were two leading wins, I'm not predicting. You know, I don't think right now I'm predicting Carey Mulligan to win, but it could happen. And the fact that it could happen, that's why I have him at my number 6. And it is, you know, you could also make an argument like this time. Granted, I have not seen Maestro yet, but judging from what everyone else has been saying, it's a lot more showing his direction. And unlike A Star Is Born, he has the experience now, and you could make an argument that he has like that kind of narrative going for him. But I don't know. Someone would have to miss, and it would have to be a miss. Like, it would have to be a snub that like no one was expecting. Oh my! Like, God help me if Christopher Nolan gets snubbed. Oh my God, Argo style. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but oh my God, I will be more angry than when the film drunk watched Babylon lose score. I'm going to lose my shit if Nolan loses out, and so that's why I have. Because again, it's always someone you least expect when it comes to this stuff. That's why I maybe have Martin Scorsese at number 5, because it's like that would be like the headline was like, what in the world? Because like I don't.
I feel like he doesn't get snubbed when he's supposed to be nominated, though.
That's the thing. That's why I do feel like this is like just such a tight, 5.
I can't remove Martin Scorsese. Yeah, it is a tight 5. I mean, Alexander Payne, to me, he feels like expendable. And I understand why people are, not putting him in, but I think they might just go for that. I think it might just be the thing that happens that, like, you don't want to happen, but, like, sorry, they're just going to do it. But I agree that Bradley Cooper, his direction in Maestro was really stunning. And I think it's more about where Maestro is as a contender. Him being, like, number 7 for me or something, yeah. But he's gonna land somewhere. I think he's gonna get Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, maybe even DGA nominated. So, he's also up there. Yeah. And Celine Song for Past Lives, would love to see that, but I just think it's a little too crowded at this point.
I would love to see. Past Lives I thought was really. I was not expecting to love Past Lives that much because again I can be very easily bored by a slow movie, but thankfully sort of like After Sun, it was just like it was so it was very precise in what it was doing and kept me engaged. So thank goodness for that. I want Celine Song to get in, but I don't think that's happening. And then there's Justine Triet, probably not happening, and. Then I have Ben Affleck in because I think he could maybe get in a Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, but I'm not really considering him.
There's no way he gets Oscar to me though. Yeah. But I mean, Justine Triet though could be the thing that sneak attacks you. Like, so that's why I think she should be in the list until the end. Like, she could sneak attack.
Yeah, she could.
She could be the one that people don't see coming. Even though they think it's Glazer, maybe it just happens to be her. That would be insane. But man, yeah, it would be kind of funny if to make up for that Argo snub, we're gonna nominate Ben Affleck for Air. Yay! Oh God. I mean,
like,
look,
I love.
if Justine Triet gets nominated at the BAFTAs and Glazers at the BAFTAs, could be interesting what that fifth slot looks like.
Yeah, I would still probably go with Glazer because I personally do.
I would
think,
still.
Yeah, because and you have Blitz Bazawule probably just in there and stuff.
Just there.
Yeah, just there.
Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, and then there's lead actress. Wait, honestly, I don't know what to do with with between Lily Gladstone, Emma Stone, whatever. Like it's literally like a coin flip. I'm not like. I can't really make a good argument either way. I mean, granted, I still need to see Poor Things, but it's like the lead actress race for me is very tough and stuff.
It is tough.
Yeah,
it's very tough.
And we do have we do have the same top three. Actually, the same top four, just again different orders and stuff. Carey Mulligan and Maestro. That could also happen. But the only reason why I'm not predicting.
Yeah, when I saw the movie, I thought Carey Mulligan might win. Like, if I'm, not paying attention to any noise around this and I just see this movie, I'm like, that could win an Oscar for sure. She was amazing in it. I liked her here more than I even liked her in Promising Young Woman. I thought she was the best performance I've seen from her.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. But the only reason why I don't have, despite all of this, why I don't have Carey Mulligan in winning, because again, why, if Maestro were to win actor and actress, why would it not get director? Again, that would just be really weird for me. I mean, obviously it could happen, but it would just be so strange if he got.
It's hard for me to put it in both actor and actress. It just is. It just is.
I would, again, it's just a directing slot that just keeps me from going there. Fantasia Barrino, I think she's just going to be safe. She's safely in there probably, I'm assuming.
Could be. I mean, I think I'm hearing less that she's like a standout as much as the supporting performances in the film, and I think that's due to maybe her just having more grounded character work to do. But I think she's probably in there, probably. And yeah.
Oh, you were saying?
Oh, go ahead.
And then there's 5 and 6, which actually we literally just kind of have them switched. I think Greta Lee gets the 5th slot, but then you think Sandra Huller gets the 5th slot. How much of a gap is
this? Is close.
Yeah,
this is very close. I mean, I think I'm gonna go with Huller because, one, my two eyes, my own eyes, told me that is just an incredible performance, and she's one of my favorites of this year. Although I have seen her miss in a couple places, and she's
that one
disappointing to me. I thought she would split with Lily Gladstone, but it seems like they're going all out for Lily Gladstone. So I think that does hurt her a little bit. I'm currently going to predict her to get snubbed for SAG, and I'm just going to hope that she gets BAFTA nominated and Critics' Choice nominated, honestly. If she doesn't get a Golden Globe, I think that's devastating, for 6 slots. That would be, terrible. And I'm just really hoping that I'm not being, gaslit here. I saw one of the best performances of the year, easily, and I need it to happen. So I'm going to keep it in, since I can see the Oscars appreciating her work. But it really does depend. If Anatomy of a Fall is in Best Picture, I think she's in Best Actress. But, hey, you don't think it's in Best Picture, so you're being consistent because you don't ever, and that's fair. If that movie drops, then I think that they could go in this direction also.
The reason why I have Greta Lee at number 5 is because I feel like she will miss a couple of things. She's gonna miss BAFTA and she's gonna miss SAG, but I feel like Golden Globe and Critics' Choice might just be enough because because obviously I don't think Past Lives is going to be a SAG-friendly movie, but I think it will be one of those things where it's we think that Greta Lee's missing. It's oh, God, she's going to miss, the Oscar nomination. But the Oscars kind of redeem her. Because, Past Lives, I just don't see why you would nominate Past Lives without including Greta Lee.
Right.
Even if she's not winning, it's I just feel like she'll just be that last-minute save, because I just don't think, like I said, BAFTA or SAG are going to go for her. But that's what I'm thinking.
I even think there's a scenario where you do Greta Lee and Sandra Huller and you snub Fantasia Barrino.
Ooh.
But that would be on a day where, if The Color Purple underperforms and if it misses Best Picture, certainly, then she might not get in there. But that would be pretty weird. So the point is, though, it's a very crowded and competitive category. And I think Natalie Portman's the next in line. Like, I could see her taking out somebody unexpectedly, but also I think she has the least chance when it comes to her nomination for May December and what her co-stars are expected to do. Like, I think that it's more likely in supporting actor and actress, and I think she's the least likely actor in the movie to get nominated, just given like the competitiveness of the categories.
The reason, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but I did see May December. I did see Naiad. I have Naiad above, I have Annette Bening over Natalie Portman because I could just see them going with like I could see her going like getting Golden Globe and SAG, and like she seems like a threat, and it's like, oh god, is this happening? But then it just turns out to not really be a thing. Natalie Portman, I think she would get Golden Globe and maybe Critics' Choice, but I don't know. Like that again.
The Critics' Choice could just nominate 8 people if they want to. But actually, you know what? I think Critics' Choice is going to nominate Margot Robbie. So I don't know who she's going to take out. Oh, actually, no. I don't believe that Annette Bening and Naiad will get nominated for Critics' Choice. So I'm going to say that
I don't think
they go all the way down to Margot Robbie.
Yeah, like
Oscars. I don't think Margot Robbie's happening at the Oscars. I just simply do not see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if she got nominated, but I just don't see.
No,
I don't see it happening. But maybe SAG. SAG could maybe happen, but again, it's kind of also another argument. It's like who's snubbed, but then again, at the SAG Awards they managed to snub Michelle Williams out of nowhere. So it's like we'll have to see what SAG does, but I don't think Margot Robbie. What?
No, just thinking about how they snubbed Michelle Williams, I'm like, oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it's always because like they'll always like snub the ones where it's like, oh yeah, surely it's going to get a nomination, and then suddenly both Belfoy's boys are gone. It's like, what in the world happened here? Like what? But yeah.
Yep. Danielle Deadweiler was the worst though. She was snubbed for SAG, right?
No, she got in. That? No, she got in.
Oh. Yeah. She just it hurt my heart at the Oscars that she wasn't there.
Yeah.
Very bad. That's how I'll feel about That's how I'll feel if Sandra Huller's not here.
Oh man,
it could be a painful Best Actress lineup if Sandra Huller's not here.
I can't wait to see the rage and the zoom-ins. That's gonna be fun. Tiana Taylor, should we say rest in peace or no?
Only because Andrea Riseborough, we'll say no, but like probably rest in peace.
Yeah, maybe rest in peace.
Probably rest in peace. That's way out there.
Yeah. And then Priscilla, I was initially saying, oh, she could get nominated because, because Priscilla had the SAG interim agreement. Oh, yeah, sure. But then the SAG strike ended. It's like, oh, well, okay, well, everyone else can campaign now. And so, that might be. Yeah,
I think there's, no way. I mean, if there were 10 slots, she'd be like a maybe for a 10.
So maybe
but there's
also
no way
rest in,
with 5.
Maybe also rest in peace.
I'll say it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
All right,
I'm not going to, pretend like there's a big chance there. I just don't think so. But we didn't really talk about winners, but I still have Emma Stone winning over Lily Gladstone because I just see people being like, "Whoa!" What she did there was like, "Whoa! I can't believe that performance." And given that I think Poor Things is a bigger contender than Maestro, and that absolutely matters when it comes to the lead acting categories, I'll go with her. But I'm not. I think it's possible Lily Gladstone does end up taking it, but I do think we should be cautious about saying someone's the front runner just because they're winning the Critics Awards. It makes sense that Lily Gladstone's winning Critics Awards. They love to award the subtle performances. They liked to award Colin Farrell more than Brendan Fraser for The Whale. So they clearly have a preference when it comes to what type of performances they're going to go for. And so she just fits the mold for that. But my 2 eyes tell me here, if I go with my subjective, viewing of Killers, that Lily Gladstone probably won't win for it, but will certainly be nominated.
Yeah, again, I haven't seen Poor Things. I have seen Killers. Even though I do agree she does not have a lot of screen time, she really did leave a lot, an impact on me, more than any of the other performances.
Absolutely.
So I was
I
like,
agree.
all right,
I agree.
Like, it did, like, the performance, even though there wasn't a lot in there, the performance still stuck with me. So, but it's like, I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'm the right person to gauge that or whatnot. I mean, granted, I still have Aaron for Best Picture, so who knows? But like,
No, I think that's totally true. I think that's how people feel about her performance here. And, like, it grows on you, it lives inside of you. Like, I think that's absolutely happening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm wondering, that's why I'm kind of holding out on. But even then, like I said, it's pretty much a coin toss. I might flip on to Emma Stone another day, or who knows.
I think it's fair to say it's very close. Like, I don't feel convinced that Emma Stone's gonna win.
Yeah,
I don't feel convinced.
Battle of the Stones, and maybe Mulligan. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Then we have lead actor. We both have the same exact top two: Bradley Cooper and Cillian Murphy. This is probably like maybe one of the biggest races. I'm really wondering,
it's a big race. I think this is very close.
Yeah, and I just remember I forgot to swap out Paul and Leonardo. God, oh boy. Regardless,
You knocked Leonardo down a notch.
Yeah, I knocked down Leonardo because like it's weird how he's been, because I've been seeing a lot of the critics awards. He's been missing quite a few of them. I'm like,
oh, I see. You have two Giamattis in here.
Wait. Oh my God! I didn't realize. God, I hate that.
So not only did you not swap, but you're trying to predict Coleman, Domingo, and Rustin. I see what's happening here.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm trying to predict Coleman, Domingo, and Rustin. God,
Yeah.
Man, that's embarrassing. Regardless,
Super embarrassing. You should hide in shame.
Bradley Cooper versus Cillian Murphy. This is tough. On one hand, Bradley Cooper fits the bill for a lead actor win because he's transformative, makeup. Everyone's saying he's given the performance of his career. That stuff.
Yep.
God. And then there's also Cillian Murphy, and I was saying for the longest time, I don't know why Oppenheimer would win so many Oscars, including Best Picture, and not Cillian Murphy coming along with that. That would be very weird.
Yeah.
But it's just
right.
I don't know.
I mean, given that Oppenheimer's like supposed to win, if it does win, you know, it feels like Cillian Murphy would also win. It feels like that.
Granted, I haven't seen Maestro, but I have seen a lot of the other contenders, like Giamatti for The Holdovers, Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon, and Coleman Domingo for Rustin. Like, out of the ones I've seen so far, Cillian Murphy would be my pick to win. Which again is not saying a lot, considering I haven't even seen the front runner yet. But it's like I really do love that performance in Oppenheimer, and I don't think it would be too subtle in a way to win the Oscar, because like I've always said this, Christopher Nolan always has like the camera so up close in Cillian Murphy's face to where there's no mistaking as to what you could possibly glean from that performance.
Yeah.
It's so direct, even though it's not the most like crying or whatever. Like it's just really direct in his face. So
yeah.
But Bradley Cooper just seems like he's the front runner right there.
So Bradley Cooper, unquestionably like a formidable candidate here. I mean, when I saw Maestro, I was like, that's what wins the Oscar. That is what wins. And maybe this, it doesn't always happen like that. Like, not always does the most baity transformative performance win the Oscar, but like Maestro's getting nominated for Best Picture and a bunch of awards. He helmed the film, and he's doing the most baity transformative performance of the year. Like, I just think I gotta have him at number one, given, what makes the most sense. So that's where he is for me.
I mean, I have him at number one as well.
Just a simple argument here that it's baity transformative. And he's amazing. Like, I think I might even have to vote for him if I were an Oscar voter, because, he did a lot. He did so much. My God, he did so much.
Because I was watching the Film Drunks review of the movie, where it's like he said he saw clips of like the real Leonard Bernstein composing conducting, and he actually was going all crazy on stage in real life. So it's like wow, comparing these two, it's like at least the clip I've seen of Maestro and seeing Leonard Bernstein actually doing that, it's like that is really impressive. But
yeah, it's incredible. Like, I think people were making a point about the fact that, like, he practiced conducting for 6 years. Like, he practiced specifically for this scene for 6 years. But number one, Bradley Cooper was interested in conducting, like, for a long time. Like, he probably just really thought that would be fun. But number two, you couldn't if he didn't practice that for 6 years, like he wouldn't have done it in one take. It's literally like one take. It's absolutely incredible. Like for if you don't do that for like years and years and years of work, it's not going to sell in a take like that. So he did kind of what he had to do to sell that, and like he really sold it. So that is just it's so impressive how he did that like I think it's clearly like the most impressive performance where you're like, holy shit, man, like you went all fucking out for that.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
When would, at least in terms of the precursors, when would the tide shift to where you probably would have to predict Cillian Murphy? Like in terms of like where would he have to win for you to go, oh my god, like this is actually happening?
You know, it's funny when I think about like where I think he's going to win. I feel like Bradley might just sweep. I think that's a very strong possibility. But like, where would Cillian Murphy win? I think Cillian Murphy would probably win Critics' Choice. Where would I think it's really important? SAG probably. Again, SAG.
I think SAG's the last one of the season. I think so. I think that would probably,
and they would probably do Bradley Cooper. I think.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna do Bradley Cooper. And then the other ones, I mean, like there's not really a whole lot to argue of who's gonna win. It really just is between those two. But Leo, I think, is in, despite the fact that he's missing everywhere, and despite the fact that I completely butchered the like images right there. Paul Giamatti, I think, is a number 3 at this point. Like he is like having seen the holdovers, it's like like I could see this being a number 3, not really winning. And Coleman Domingo for Rustin, it does seem like it is a pretty baity performance, despite the fact that Rustin has just died, and just like any hope for that getting into like screenplay or best picture, that's just, again, rest in peace. But I wouldn't say is rest in peace. He could probably, he could definitely get in. It's just a matter of whether he gets in or Jeffrey Wright.
Yep, I agree. In terms of Paul Giamatti or Leonardo DiCaprio being snubbable, like, there's a small chance that maybe one of them could get snubbed, but it's not big enough that I can take either of them out. Coleman Domingo could miss because his movie is so, like, underseen. And just, like, where is Rustin? Where is he? Where is Rustin this season? It feels like it's just not as out front as these other films. So, like, are people gonna, like, at TIFF, everyone at TIFF was like, my God, Coleman Domingo's year, because he had 2 movies. It just didn't translate. Like, it's not like when Brendan Fraser was applauded for like 7 fucking months straight or whatever. Like, it felt like it was a moment at TIFF, and then now it's like the outside world. Sing Sing is not here, and we just have Rustin and no one saw it. And so, like, that's why I think I dropped him down so much, to the point where I'm like, I don't know if he even gets in.
That's why.
But that's a very Beatty transformative performance. Like, it's an excellent performance. So it's weird. It's weird that doesn't get in, if it doesn't get in.
Like, that's why I was never really considering him for the win, because yes, Brendan, like, The Whale was never in Best Picture, but also people really wanted to give Brendan Fraser the Oscar. Like, like that was the performance. Like, that's a performance we haven't seen in like years. Because of like. I've never seen a performance that had that much passion behind it in a long time. And again, there's also like that great narrative behind it. He's been around forever. Coleman Domingo, I don't think, his film wasn't in Best Picture either. And it's like, he doesn't have a lot of that passion behind him that Brendan Fraser did. So it's like, I don't think.
But yeah, I don't know why though. I really don't know why. I think because he's got a great narrative himself. Like, kind of like J.K. Simmons or someone, where he's been in movies forever. Like, his face, but you've just never seen him this good. Like, that's where he's at. But and this year he's pretty visible. He's in Rustin and he's in The Color Purple, which is a more visible movie. So I think it's kind of, maybe it's just something that's setting him up for next year, where I think he will be nominated for Sing Sing.
Yeah, I think the reason why he's not catching on as much as Brendan Fraser is because, like, I mean, you look at literally the one image they kept posting about The Whale, and it's like, oh my God, my heart is breaking for him. Just from
there's like the transformation, but also that Brendan Fraser was like everyone's childhood favorite actor and like a blockbuster star, and then now he's like rebranding himself. Like, you don't really get much more powerful than that.
And the performance was devastating. Like, it made everyone cry.
Oh
And
yeah,
then there's some of the other ones. I forgot to put, maybe consider Scott, Zac Efron, but
Zac Efron's in there.
yeah,
He's in there.
and then there's maybe Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers. Actually, no, I don't even have him in. I'm only keeping in Anthony Hopkins because who knows what the BAFTAs will do. But
I don't think One Life is coming out this year though.
Wait, I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be
it's
like
next year.
Like that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know if it's supposed to be like maybe like like last minute push or whatever. But it's like I don't know. I think it's just, like for me like it's probably really just between these like this six. Like this six is like who's it gonna be? But yeah, and
Maybe it does come out. I actually don't know. I won't say for sure. But
if BAFTA
he's not gonna get in.
If BAFTA goes for him, I'd be like, we'll have to see.
It's probably not. I mean, that would be insane. It'd be insane. But fair enough.
Supporting actress. This is definitely.
Wait. We didn't talk about Jeffrey Wright.
I forgot about them.
Well, and so I'm just gonna say here, like, we don't have to go on too much, but you don't have American Fiction in Best Picture, so that's consistent for you. But for me, thinking American Fiction is strong, I kind of have to have him in. And then my heart breaks to put Coleman Domingo at number 6 because of that. But I do feel like he goes along with American Fiction.
Yeah, the only reason, like, it's, again, the other thing for me is that Coleman Domingo, even though Rustin, no one's seen Rustin, it is Beatty. It is, like, historical figure.
Oh, yeah. It's got everything going for it.
Yeah. And then supporting actress, this is definitely between Divine Joy Randolph and Daniel Brooks, I would say. At least it's between these two. Some people... God, this is tough for me. Divine Joy Randolph, like, whether she wins supporting actress could probably help sway me. Or like, if she does win, that's one of the things that could make me think Holdovers could win picture. But if it really is just Daniel Brooks, then it's like, okay, well, I guess Oppenheimer's just not being challenged at this point. Like, I just don't, like, unless maybe Ryan Gosling comes in. But
yeah, I think we're gonna see Brooks after the movie comes out.
Yeah, that's why I'm just kind of...
It seems to be an Ariana DeBose situation, and it's like a weird, like, exact copy of that. But I'm pretty convinced that that's what's going on here.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the only thing that maybe kind of did me in was, like, again, NBR and AFI, which is just kind of weird. Actually, wait, I think Color Purple missed both of those. I think.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, that's
wait, kind of, no, not MBR though. I think it got MBR.
Wait, I'm trying to think if it wait.
I'll look it up, but you can keep going. But I'll
go
check.
But yeah, that's why I'm kind of at, like, Divine Joy Randolph and Daniel Brooks. They're like number 1 and number 2. Like, I don't know, like, it might just be Daniel Brooks, and if it is Daniel Brooks, I think that again hurts Holdover's chances of winning picture.
It did not get nominated.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I don't have these films memorized. Yeah, I just did not memorize them for some reason.
I wasn't so sure either. Don't worry.
Okay, so yeah, I think Divine Joy Randolph is a critics thing, and you know, again, they like going for the subtle performance, and she is muted but like really powerful. If you're paying attention, like the more you pay attention to her expressions, like the more you're like, wow, there's a lot going on there. So I get why critics are doing it, but Danielle Brooks is going to be the musical showy performance, so that's where I'm going. That's why I'm putting her at number 1, and then. The rest of this category is like is extremely chaotic. Actually, like there could be a real shakeup with the Golden Globe nominations, where we start to think about people like, you know, if Emily Blunt misses, then that's like, oh shit, you're not a lock anymore. But she just missed she missed a couple things so far.
Yeah,
and you know, Taraji B. Henson, like, don't know if that's happening. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. And you know, Penelope Cruz hasn't gotten a nomination yet, but doesn't mean she's out.
The thing is, like, everything I've heard from her performance is that her performance is very fiery, and I think like if she were to only get Globes or BAFTA, I think that would be enough, because it's like there are sometimes those performances where it's like they get one of the, you know, precursors, and it's like, all right, you're in. Like, for example, Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell or something like that, where it's like because the performance was just that kind of like thing, it's like even if it doesn't really
Wait,
catch
did she
on
get
a lot
Oscar nominated for that?
Yeah, Kathy Bates. Yeah. Oh no. Well, yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of the videos a lot. So it's
That was
like,
so unexpected. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I remember me reacting to that as well. Yeah, that was very
Yeah.
unexpected. That because it feels like the kind of performance that, okay, yeah, you had your run with like a couple awards, good job, but like you're done after that. Like you don't go further than here. Like Eddie Redmayne and The Good Nurse. I still think that's gonna happen with her, but like maybe not. If this category is really chaotic, she could be like popping in randomly.
Yeah, that's why I said if she were to miss Globes and BAFTA, then I'd like, all right, no way. But it's like if she were to get one of those, I'd be like, all right, there's something there. I think that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, she might get Golden Globe. She really might just like show up there. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It really is either BAFTA or Golden Globe for me. And then Taraji P. Henson, yeah, safe. Probably, maybe safe.
Not safe, but maybe, but like, who knows? It's kind of who knows, I think.
I overuse the word safe a lot, but it's like, it's a good, it's a decent bet, maybe. Oh no.
It's fair. It's fair.
Fair.
To have in.
Yeah. Julianne Moore, May December, you're thinking she gets in. I'm not.
Well, so it might just be the May December moment we're having right now. Like, I don't know how long this lasts. Maybe I'm a little biased, but people are like taking to her. I mean, even the, HCA, the Astro Awards, nominated her when they didn't really like May December in general, but they nominated her and they nominated Charles Melton. So that to me means something. She's doing a lot here, and she really deserves it for this movie. The argument I've been making is that her character is so like unsavory and strange, and like you don't know what to do with her, that people might just not be able to separate it and just be like, yeah, I don't really feel that much about that performance because I don't understand that character, or I don't like her. So that works against her a little bit, but she's also Julianne Moore, and she's really strong in the movie. I think she could show up at the Oscars even if she doesn't get every nomination, which is, again, another performance that I think is going to be very chaotic and spotty. Like, it might show up here and there, or just might, like, take an Oscar nomination unexpectedly. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about I do think maybe Viola Davis gets in a few places, but I don't think she gets in at the Oscars.
I think Air is going to be a weird thing where like she might, it might like look like it's happening and then just not. So that's what I'm going to go with for now.
The thing is, like, even though I'm currently predicting Air for picture, I still don't think it would need Viola Davis to come along with it. I don't think she's a requirement for me.
Yeah. Well, it'd be weird if Air just got picture and screenplay.
Maybe editing.
Not unprecedented, but it would be a little weird.
But yeah.
But look, if it gets SAG Ensemble, then maybe I'll be predicting it for picture and screenplay. I don't know.
Mayhaps.
It could very well get a SAG Ensemble, but it might just be the movie that gets SAG Ensemble that doesn't get Best Picture. That always happens. Jodie Foster, the Naiad ladies, I don't really know if I believe them.
Yeah, I think, like I said, probably Golden Globes and SAG, but nothing else after that. Like, really nothing. I don't think they're gonna really happen.
America Ferrera is also another like wild card who's definitely going to get nominations somewhere. Like, she'll get the Critics' Choice. She might get SAG. She might very well get SAG, actually. And she might get the Golden Globe. But that doesn't mean that she's getting nominated to me, because I just don't think it's like one of the forefront performances.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, like the only reason why I have maybe Rhea Perlman slightly above her is because I don't know, maybe they pull a Judd Hirsch or a Judi Dench, or it's like, oh, the older one gets nominated. Who knows? Well, I'm not.
That'd be insane.
It'd be really funny 3 years in a row if that happened. I'd be like, oh man. But yeah.
If anything, maybe Willem Dafoe happens like that for Poor Things.
That would again. That would be really. I don't know why the idea of that happening. Just the clear nomination frontrunners getting snubbed in favor of the older one is just really funny.
Ridiculous. Well, actually, it wasn't as crazy for The Fabelmans as it was for Belfast. For Belfast, that was like the worst thing I've ever seen. I still can't believe that happened. I
didn't hate it, but I loved the chaos.
I hated it.
It was so funny.
She didn't have to do it. She was better in Cats. I'll say it again. She was better in Cats than she was in Belfast. Like, she had more to do in Cats. She had a monologue at the end. There was much more. Well, she had a monologue at the end of Belfast, too, but it was...
Fun fact, I have an autograph of Judi Dench from Cats.
Oh, good for you. Why don't you hang it up in, like, every video?
I have a light right here. The light would bounce right off of it. And it'd just be like, why is there a weird...
That's the only reason it's not there.
And the only reason why I have Florence Pugh in there is because, like, I've seen people I know who aren't really, like, into Oscar predictions talk about Florence Pugh as, like, the highlight for them. Because, like, I was talking to, like, some of them, and I was like, I think, you know, Oppenheimer's going to get a supporting actress nomination. They're like, oh, yeah, Florence Pugh. I was like, I was talking about Emily Blunt. I was like, oh. And it's like...
That's wild.
Like that, like if I would say like maybe Florence Pugh.
No one's like, beating the drum for her though. No one.
That's why I'm just trying to keep it in there because it's like I don't know. Maybe something weird might happen, but I don't have too many notes here. I guess, but yeah. Then we have supporting actor Downey Jr. versus Ryan Gosling. Good God, what in the world could be like this? Like this would also be insane. Like what like. Because if Ryan Gosling beat Robert Downey Jr., that would be pretty good for Barbie, maybe upsetting for visual.
Absolutely.
I mean for Best Picture.
Yep. Absolutely it would. But Robert Downey Jr., I just can't get it out of my head that he has like a really great narrative for him. Great narrative. Marvel Redemption shows the world that he can be something else outside of a movie franchise. And, you know, his work here is like really strong. I mean, I think people might be like confused why the movie cares so much about him, and that's kind of fair. But, you know, you can't really deny that it's like really strong work from him, and he does transform. He becomes like almost invisible, which is very appropriate for the character that he's invisible. So
like Robert Downey Jr. is kind of like when I was watching the movie, like Downey Jr. did just kind of fade in, and it's like fade into the film. It's like, oh my God, like it's like he's just like kind of like just like this ominous figure. But again, even for me, if I were voting, I'd probably vote Ryan Gosling over him because I just like I've never seen Ryan Gosling be this goofy and weird in a movie before, and yet also it's not even just complete nonsense, goofy weirdness. There's still like there's actually something in there in that performance that I really like, and so that's why I'm wondering like if there's passion for Ryan Gosling, he could maybe upset.
Possible. I'm not gonna say no, but
yeah,
I'm not gonna say no. I think it's one of them. I think one of them is gonna win.
Yeah,
but Robert Downey Jr. has the edge because I see the narrative being stronger and
the film.
You know, winning for a comedy performance that's pretty rare.
Yeah,
not that it can't happen, but very interesting that you have Dominic Sessa at number 3. That you're thinking outside the box, but I think that could happen.
The thing is, the moment I saw that trailer for The Holdovers, I was like, oh my God. Like it just like it's like a light bulb went in my head of like, oh, he's getting nominated, and I don't think anyone else is like. And I was looking at the predictions, and I have seen The Holdovers, and it's like when I was looking at the predictions, I was like, how is no one taking Dominic Sessa seriously? It's like this is I could see how he wouldn't get like the early critics buzz like Charles Melton, which is why I kind of think he might be vulnerable because I'm thinking maybe Dominic Sessa might have more industry support than May December, especially since The Holdovers is definitely in Best Picture more than May December.
Yeah, I mean, this could very well go in the way that like he just becomes a staple with the movie. But I don't know. That's like where I see some chaos here. Like I could see him not going along because people are not familiar with him, and
I'm thinking Lucas Hedges.
He could very well be Lucas Hedges, though.
Yeah.
I think Lucas Hedges wasn't like entirely consistent. I think he missed out at a couple places, but. So, you know, he might be like someone who we don't know is happening up until the end, and he might just appear. And it would be very well deserved. I really liked his performance.
Oh, yeah, he was wonderful.
And Mark Ruffalo, like, I want to say that maybe if Poor Things isn't winning Best Picture, which, you know, there's a very good chance it's not, I kind of want to say that both the Poor Things boys are at risk for not being nominated because they're both, like, sort of competing. But I see his performance as being way too Oscar baity in that he also has a really strong narrative where he's becoming someone that you never expected him to be. And it's extremely fun. So I have a very hard time seeing him not get nominated So I would rather just, say that Willem Dafoe, is easily the one who would just miss. I think that's probably true. But I guess I submitted my predictions with Willem Dafoe still in it. And I don't know if I still stand by that, but yeah, maybe I do stand by it.
Unless I screwed up with updating it or something like that.
No, I think that is what I did. I don't know what to do here. I'm very confused. Like, I'm wondering if Dominic Sessa or Sterling K. Brown comes up. I'm wondering if Coleman Domingo, comes up also. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. I mean, Robert De Niro, I'm going out and just predicting the snub very prematurely. Like, I might just be wrong. But the fact that the HCA found it easy to do, and they're like a sizable voting body and they loved Killers of the Flower Moon, they found it pretty easy to dismiss him. I'm like, okay, maybe I could see that happening. Just a little less feeling like that I really want that they want to vote for this performance.
Yeah, I've bbeen kind of thinking for a while, like, if De Niro couldn't even get in for The Irishman, a movie he carried, I'm wondering why because especially he's saying Killers of the Flower Moon, and I'm not even against nominating him. It's just if they snubbed him for The Irishman, and considering Killers of the Flower Moon is possible to also go out of a goose egged, why would he why would he get a nomination as well? So that's why
if you liked Killers of the Flower Moon, if you had to make a top 5 for your acting for your personal ballot, would you put him in?
Let's see. I'd have Ryan Gosling, Downey Jr., Dominic Sessa. Haven't seen Poor Things. Charles Melton I really liked in May December, but I'm trying to think if I would. John Majaro though is really strong though for me, and they're I'm not gonna lie.
So you might put him in.
John Majaro, I probably put him in, and I'm not gonna lie. I'd kind of have to go down the list quite a lot, but that Gary Oldman scene in Oppenheimer stuck with oh my god, he scared me in that movie with how little screen time he had. But it's also there's also Matt Damon, where he kind of added some comedic relief, but also wasn't too overbearing in the film. It's it is tough for me. And Robert De Niro would also make sense, but it's also, again, I just haven't seen Poor Things, and those are reported possibly very strong contenders. So it's I don't know if I can truly say it definitively right now. But Robert De Niro would at best be just in, wouldn't be strongly in right now, having not seen Poor Things.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious because you like the movie, but I feel like I wouldn't vote for him in the top 5. I would have Lily Gladstone maybe in there, but not Robert De Niro. I don't know.
We were talking about performances of the year in general, not just.
You were talking about. Oh no! I think we were just talking about supporting actor.
Oh yeah, just supporting.
I was seeing if as someone who likes Killers, if you'd put him in, and it sounds like you would have him in your top 5 for what you prefer.
Right, at least right now, having not seen a lot.
I'm thinking even though people like Killers, maybe they just feel more it's important to nominate other performances this year, and that's why he gets left behind. That's all.
That would be it would be really.
We'll see if the Golden Globes does. I mean, the Golden Globes probably will do him.
But if they don't, then that would be chaos.
If he misses SAG-BAFTA, goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And then I guess there's not really a whole lot to say about the other ones because there's they're yeah. But yeah.
Although Charles Melton, I think he's really riding something important here. I think he's going to get nominated. I have number 3 because I'm fuck it. I just think that would be horrible if he wasn't nominated, and there's the most passion for him right now.
I could see
right
him.
now. It's going to turn around probably, but still.
The reason why I have him at number 5 is because I did have Matt Damon in there. Because, I was thinking maybe Oppenheimer is going to be, could be really big, but also Emily Blunt's been missing. And that's why I kind of took him out.
Yeah.
If Emily Blunt's missing, but then again, the critics aren't the industry. I do want to see what the industry does. So I honestly don't think Matt Damon is out of the conversation.
Someone like Matt Damon and, maybe even Willem Dafoe, though, I would have a much easier time believing it if there's just less competition in general. Yeah.
It's just something about
it's so tight.
It's just something about May December just gives me critic vibes, where it's it's a critics thing.
Yeah.
And original screenplay. All right, this is where you're gonna be questioning my logic here, but
oh wait, no, we don't agree.
Yeah, well,
I thought that was your predictions, and I was like, oh, we're the same.
No. This is my predictions. The reason why I don't have Barbie in original, I don't buy it going in original. I don't think the Oscars are gonna put Barbie in original. I think they're gonna whiplash and moonlight it and put it in adapted. That's why
But there's no source material it's based on, though.
But it's also based on Barbie characters, which has.
But did anyone write Barbie the character?
But that's the thing. Like, I think if I'm not like the pre-established characters thing would still probably be enough. Because again, if
But I think you have to credit like the adapter person, and it's just a toy and not a character.
But I don't know. Like, that's the thing. They have made these kind of calls in the past where it's like, I
don't think they've quite been like this.
I don't know. Like,
I was thinking like you, and I've kind of come over to the other side.
I don't know. I just still
like
can't.
Even Marvel. It's like, okay, you're based on like the character that Stan Lee created, you know.
But again,
what could you possibly say for Barbie?
It's just that thing where it's like Barbie and Ken, even though these versions of the characters are new, they still have existed before in other movies and other TV shows and stuff. And it's like, even though they're,
but maybe it's more like how, Oppenheimer like is a person and has been portrayed maybe in other films, but
it's also like Oppenheimer.
Story.
But it's also like Oppenheimer is
based
based off of American Prometheus. That's the other thing.
Wait, is that Is that an adapted screenplay? Am I crazy? Oh,
no, Oppenheimer was based on American Prometheus.
Bad example. No, but okay, so I guess you could say Maestro then, like as an example where like that's a thing that exists. Like Maestro, like someone has to own the story or character.
But it's also like with Barbie, she's fictional, and with Maestro, it's like, even though he did already exist, it's like it's in the real world context, so it's like that's but I do think Barbie's getting in screenplay. It's just not this one, but that's especially where it's going to get chaotic in adapted screenplay when you see what I have. But overall, like if Barbie were to go to original, I would say it would be in
winning.
I don't know, because I still think I don't know, maybe the holdovers would still. The only reason why I don't even have Barbie winning adapted screenplay right now, because I feel like it would need Writers Guild hype to. Never mind that was my phone.
Is that your cat?
No, we do have cats, but it was a notification. It was like a guitar riff or whatever, but the thing is, I feel like for Barbie to win screenplay, it would need Writers Guild hype, and the winners aren't even being announced until after the Oscars. So it's like, I don't know if it's good, because if, for example, if Writers Guild came out after the Oscars this year, would Women Talking have still won?
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I don't know. That's the thing I'm wondering. It's like, because
it's not like All Quiet was nominated there.
Oh no, All Quiet wasn't nominated at Writers Guild.
I guess. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying, but I don't know if it's like the copycatting or if it's just like the overlap with voters.
Like, I don't want to say copycatting.
Hard to say which one it is.
But it's like momentum. It's like when people realized, for example, that Coda could start winning. It's like, oh well, I mean, yeah, sure,
that's true.
So it's that's what I'm kind of thinking with Barbie. But again, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
But Barbie could win SAG.
Maybe,
and, it could really drum up some momentum from winning screenplay awards. Like, it's probably going to win Critics' Choice.
I guess
that will be the other award that it wins.
And that does help in my argument that it could upset over Oppenheimer. It could, but again, I don't know. But
I think Barbie. I strongly feel that Barbie's going to win, and that it'll be placed here. Well, I'm even more confident that it's going to win wherever it's placed, honestly. I just think this is going to be like the screenplay movie that just is going to happen.
That's, again,
and Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig are going to get a nice little trophy for it.
It does on paper, it does make sense. It's just, again, I'm wondering if it would need Writers Guild hype. Because, it is one of those things where it's like, I wouldn't mind if it won. I mean, it's a great screenplay. It's just like, can it win off of that? Can it win without? Oh, hold on, your camera's gone. Hold on a second. Uh, hold on. Wait, where? Oh, there
I'm
you
still
are.
here, but yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh wait. Hold on. Let me see if. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're back. You're back on the screen.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. I that's what I'm kind of wondering with Barbie. But again, if Barbie's not here, let's say for the sake of the argument, if Barbie was not in if it was not an original screenplay, if it was in adapted, who actually no, it's actually pretty easy. You have Past Lives.
I would still have it at number. Oh, I see. What I would.
If Barbie went
Yeah,
adapted, would you go with Past Lives
this
as
is
the
hard.
winner?
I probably would.
I'm like it might it would definitely.
I know it's strange, but
No,
yeah.
it's not strange because again, I mean, it's a great screenplay. It's definitely a great screenplay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the reason why I'm thinking Holdovers over it is because I don't know. It does have that big crowd appeal. And again, if I'm making the argument that it's number 2 for Best Picture, then it would have to win. It would have to win screenplay.
Yes.
So there is that.
Yeah.
But Past Lives could, if it does turn out that Holdovers is just not really happening anywhere, then I would swap over to Past Lives. But
Yeah,
and-
I think Holdovers is like a no-win movie. It's a classic no-wins movie. So, but Past Lives, yeah, I could see that winning screenplay and being like a standout there.
I'm kind of surprised over, especially since you said you love the movie, or at least you really like the movie. I'm not exactly sure
Yeah.
how far your gauge is, but Maestro not in.
Yeah, that's a hard call for me, and I don't feel convinced about it. I just feel like the top 4 I'm solid on. I still believe in Anatomy of a Fall to get screenplay because it's such a well-written movie and it's got like the courtroom drama angle and everything. But I could easily change. That's what I'll say. I could easily swap Maestro for May December, but I have a feeling like May December might just get in for screenplay. Like it might just make it in, eke it out.
I think like I think regardless, I think May December would be safe because the reason why I don't have Anatomy of a Fall again, it's the same reason. I'm still kind of worried if that genre thing is a real thing, or if they just don't really care about Anatomy of a Fall. May December, I think, could still be digestible enough for voters for a screenplay nomination. And really, outside of that top 6, I mean, who knows? I mean, I have like Asteroid City, Saltburn, nothing really. Although Air is not in. Air's not in. Even like wow.
No, I don't have Aaron for screenplay because I think it's gonna I'm just predicting right now that it's not gonna actually do well.
I think even if it does miss Best Picture, it would still probably get original screenplay. That's why I'm thinking because it is a very dialogue snappy movie and stuff. So that's my.
But yeah, I mean it could. But I guess if there's less movies in here, I'd have it in. But I just think the other movies are more likely.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair.
That's what it comes down to. Hey, if Barbie's an original and Anatomy of a Fall starts doing well, then you'll have to take it out too.
Ooh, maybe unless May December doesn't turn out to be a thing. Who knows?
Even if May December wasn't a thing, you might take it out because you have Maestro.
It's tough. It is admittedly tough.
So yeah, but I think it's sort of on the cusp. Yeah.
And then we have adapted screenplay, which again we have different. We both have Zone of Interest. I forgot you had Zone of Interest. I thought you were about to say what you don't have Zone of it. Well, you have Zone of Interest in there, but I do think Zone of Interest would still get in even if Barbie were to get in. I just realized. Yeah, this is where you're going to think I'm absolutely insane. I don't have American Fiction in for screenplay.
Yeah. Yep. But so the only difference is that you have. Wait,
Barbie.
What's the difference?
That's
right. You have Barbie.
Yeah, I have Barbie because that's where I think the Oscars are going to go with this, and Barbie could win adapted screenplay, but again, it's that kind of Writers Guild thing where it's like I don't know where I like without Writers Guild I feel hopeless. Whereas with Oppenheimer, it is a very smart screenplay, and it's also very unique because this is the argument I've been making. It is a page turner. In that, for one, whenever the Oppenheimer scene, because I've seen a little bit of the script and stuff, especially one of those script to screen videos where they have a clip of the movie and then they have the dialogue, the script going up, scrolling and stuff. The scenes with Oppenheimer, where it's in color, it's in first person. Like the screenplay's in first person, and I don't know, that really stood out to me. And I feel like because it stands out that much, and it's a very unique screenplay in that, that's why I think Oppenheimer could still win adapted screenplay. I know I'm predicting it for like picture, director, and screenplay, but sometimes that just happens. I mean, sometimes that
I think that matters only a little bit, because when it comes down to actually voting for winners, like, it's not just writers guild, it's not just the writers who vote.
Oh yeah,
so people aren't gonna like really consider that when they think about what they want to win, because most of them haven't read the script. It's sort of like a fun like factoid or something. And Oppenheimer doesn't feel like it's a screenplay winning movie. It just doesn't have that feeling to it.
I would say probably, I would disagree. I would say that it still does, because it's like, again, it is that like it's more interesting than a movie like this really should be, especially in the screenplay. And again, it's just that thing I mentioned about it about the colored scenes in Oppenheimer being in first person, even though granted they don't really read into that. Like when you hear that, or at least when you hear that, it's like, oh, it's like, and you just kind of see what's going on in the film. It's like, that's kind of what's been rolling around in my brain. But if Barbie does have that passion behind it, like if it starts winning SAG, and good God, what if Barbie won PGA? Like people really wanted Barbie to happen, that could definitely happen. And that's that's sort of why I have Barbie above Poor Things, or like why I have them above Poor Things as well, for that same reason that I said that I don't know how strongly American, audiences and voters will, like, I don't know how much passion there'll be behind Poor Things for screenplay. Because like, I guess in that sense it would probably make sense to have, American fiction in, but again, it's just if I don't have like, it's one of those things where it's like, I just don't know what to do with American fiction right now, because it's so tight. And I could swap out Zone of Interest for American fiction.
I would love to personally swap out Zone of Interest. I feel like it would not be here if something was stronger. Like if May December was here, if Air was here, I would be like, all right, that one. But I just don't see what the alternative is. I know some people believe in All of Us Strangers, but I don't really believe that movie's going to do that well at Oscars. I just don't. I'm just like thinking 0 nominations. And, I do think the scenario I'm more likely to see is an overperformance relative to what people think of Zone of Interest. So that's why I have it in here. But I don't think it's like that strong. Like even if I had Barbie in here, I would just put in American Fiction over that, because I think American Fiction's like guaranteed to get a screenplay nomination. It just feels like a screenplay writery movie. And I think that would also, like, maybe you'd make the argument that like it wouldn't benefit from WGA help, but that thing's going to win WGA. That thing is going to win.
It is, like,
because
it's just tough for me. And the reason why I still have Zone of Interest in, despite having Barbie in, is because like the Zone of Interest is good. I feel like is going to, it's definitely going to get BAFTA for adapted screenplay. And the thing is, I think the argument I'm making here is sort of like why movies like All Quiet will get into screenplay. And it's not even because of the movie, like, they love the movie. It's also because, like, with a lot of these screenplays, and I've seen this, like, with, the 1917 screenplay and the All Quiet screenplay, even when there's not a lot of dialogue happening, the screenplay itself could still be just such a page-turner, and, like, how they describe the scenes happening. So, like, even if there's not a lot of dialogue in the Zone of Interest, the way I'm again, this is me assuming, again, I haven't seen the Zone of Interest, like the way it would describe all of that, like describe what you're seeing, and it could potentially just be a page turner, and that's why
but do you think people really read the screenplays? Because I've never even considered that. Like, I just think that if they like the movie, they'll vote for it, kind of thing. And if they feel like the dialogue is quippy, then like maybe they'll vote for it even if it's not in Best Picture. That's as simple as my thinking goes. You think they're actually reading it? we should probably look this up, but
I don't know,
to see if
it is the screenwriter's branch that nominates it.
That's true, but they might just watch the film and evaluate that.
I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like, especially if they are screenwriters, they probably would go into the screenplay. Because, again, on paper, yeah, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't really make sense. Like, if why 1917 or All Quiet or something like that, got into got into those screenplay categories. But because the screenplays themselves were page turners, that makes me think they probably did read the screenplay and stuff, and why Zone of Interest could get in. Cinematography. Actually,
So,
maybe briefly, like, what about Spider-Verse? Like, what path would there be for Spider-Verse to get screenplay?
I think if it was like a Best Picture movie, then it could get in. Like, I am considering it because I don't think Zone of Interest is that strong in screenplay. I am considering Spider-Verse for sure.
It would be. I would love it. It would just be insane if Spider-Verse was actually able to get in, because, oh boy. I don't think anyone's really arguing Oppenheimer is winning cinematography at this point. Actually, we almost have the exact same, except for Zone of Interest.
I think Zone of Interest is very possible, but Color Purple looks, Dan Lauston doing it. I think that's kind of strong, but it depends how strong Color Purple is in general. I might be swapping Zone of Interest. Do you have Saltburn in?
I have like
Saltburn. It was amazing looking, and I would like that to get in, and it was extremely showy. But I just can't put it in because it's not in Best Picture.
Yeah, I don't know why I still have El Conde all the way up, but it's just like I don't know, for some reason this top five the top five just makes too much sense to me, because it's like Zone of Interest, at least from what the trailers looked, it is very showy cinematography. So it's like, or at the very least, it's like very meticulous. But
yeah, I think it's possible that it gets in. I think it's very possible, and it's Lucas Zoll. So honestly, like, I might even make the change from Color Purple to Zone of Interest. I might make that change.
Yeah, like it's very, very possible.
Saltburn's what I'm looking out for, though. Maybe that happens.
Yeah, film editing. Obviously, Oppenheimer is winning this, I believe. It's very, very showy and stuff. We have four out of 5 here. Actually, no, 3 out of 5, I think, because I have Oppenheimer, you have Killers, we have Holdovers, but you
have Maestro. Maestro, I love the editing in that movie, and I think it's possible, but yeah, I think it's possible. I'll have to see how Maestro's doing overall.
The reason why I have Poor Things and American Fiction out is because I'm not again, I haven't seen American Fiction, but I'm not exactly sure how strong of an editing contender it's going to be.
You're probably not going to see it and think it's strong, but it's just a feeling I have that they're going to think about the editing the ending as strong editing.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's I do think the Zone of Interest is going to be. I feel like it's going to be that last minute thing. For example, Tar was a last minute editing thing.
Yep, that could happen. It could happen. And it deserves editing. It's it could happen.
And the reason why I have Poor Things out is because I don't know. I think it's there's let's say I'm kind of expecting what if it's a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing where it's somehow it misses editing, but it's it's just one of those things. I don't know how to describe it. It's a thing. I had Aaron, but I'm not as confident in Best Picture, so I probably have it out. But I still think Air is not out of the conversation for editing. I don't believe.
Yeah, I'd be pretty shocked.
I was kind of figuring stuff. Production design. I think it's going to be a repeat of Black Panther and The Favorite, where it's Barbie versus Poor Things. Barbie's going to win costumes and production design at Critics' Choice, but Poor Things is going to win at BAFTA. But ultimately, Barbie wins at the Oscars. We believe.
I'm in agreement there.
Yeah,
do we have the same 5 here? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, same 5. Although I desperately want to squeeze in the Zone of Interest, because watching the trailers, it makes complete sense. Because if what the trailers have been showing for Zone of Interest have anything to say, it's it could absolutely get production design. I just don't know what to take out, and it would probably have to be something unbelievable to get snubbed.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just too tight.
But again, it could happen. Because they have snubbed the unsnubbable before, like Top Gun Maverick in cinematography. So maybe something maybe crazy happens. I don't I have Asteroid City and Wonka maybe and whatnot, but we'll have to see. Costume design, again, Barbie, Poor Things. Regardless of who wins, these are the top 2 contenders. I do think it's these 2. Killers of the Flower Moon, yeah. I do have Wonka in because I feel like it might be stronger than especially since the reviews are stronger than a lot of people anticipated.
Yeah,
it's
I could be sleeping on it.
Yeah, the costumes do look very showy. They do look very nice and showy. Color Purple, I think that's like a good bet to have in there. And Maestro, I do have it at number 6 because it's, you know, Mark Bridges and stuff. But, you know, I guess there's not too much to say about costume design because I feel like it really just is between those 6.
Yeah.
Makeup and hairstyling. All right, I do like. Yeah, there's. Oh wait. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, there it is. Makeup and hairstyling. We both have Maestro in as number 1. It's probably gonna win. I don't have Barbie in makeup and hairstyling because even though there is a lot of it, I just don't buy the hair that just hairstyling thing. They do love prosthetics, and that's why I have not had Barbie in makeup right now.
I think there are movies though you could probably point to with hair. No, I'm trying to think, but
it's very rare. Like I don't like maybe Victorian Abdul, but again that's kind of like that was kind of a weird thing, especially since it got over Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But even then, I would still say Guardians 3 is still like I have it at number 2 because I feel like it would win the special effects makeup award at Makeup and Hairstylist Guild because it broke the record for the most prosthetics ever. And it's like...
Well, Black Panther, for example, has dope prosthetics, I think.
Are you talking about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
Because like the first one didn't get nominated, but the second one... That's
right.
Those like blue people, like the blue people in the movie. I think there might have been something there with... and stuff, but...
yeah. Or Cruella. Oh, House of Gucci. Oh, no, never mind. That was total prosthetic. Never mind.
Leto.
Yeah.
I
see what you're saying, though. I see what you're saying.
Poor Things, I do think it's getting in. Golda, I do think Golda is getting in because it is a very transformative thing. Although, one thing that I have been saying for a long time that no one's talking about, John Wick 4, because you see that little man, like that guy right there, like the gangster. That's Scott Adkins, and he's not that overweight. Like he actually like look up a real picture of Scott Adkins and look up a picture of him in John Wick 4. The transformation is stunning, and it's that classic like goofy fat people makeup that the Oscars love, and I feel like they would go for something like that. Either that or Wonka, although because I think like Keegan-Michael Key has is like in fat people makeup for a bit in the movie. Although granted, I don't know how long he's in the movie, or at least that version of him is in the movie. But it's like, I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like people have been really sleeping on John Wick 4 because that is exactly something they would go for, like prosthetics and stuff.
I'm buying it. I think that could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it really comes down to the short list. If it's like the short list, you're kind of like struggling for that number 5. Then if John Wick was there, I might have to take it. Yeah,
I am anticipating it. I would be really happy if that got in. Wonka again, I said because Keegan-Michael Key. Society of the Snow. From the images I've seen, the injuries and stuff look really brutal. Naiad, it has the jellyfish stings. I don't really buy Oppenheimer as much because, I don't know, like the old people makeup around the end of the film isn't that impressive to me. Especially that one guy, because like I don't know who it is, but it just looked like the gray hair just kind of looked very artificial to me. So it's like, I don't know if I buy Oppenheimer in there, but...
Yeah, I'm not quite there on Oppenheimer here, yeah.
And Priscilla, I'm not sure, and there's a bunch of other ones, that could maybe happen. All right. Visual effects.
Your favorite category.
Oh boy, good God. This is absolute chaos. I was expecting Oppenheimer to miss the top 5. I predicted that. I didn't think I'd be correct this soon, though. I thought it would at least make the maybe, like, at minimum, the top 20. And,
yeah, of course.
And surprisingly, it just missed. And also, what was even more shocking for me, The Little Mermaid missed. And I was like, I was predicting that since day one. It's like that.
Yeah, that's really weird because there's so many visual effects in there, and they nominated they're considering all the Marvel movies. Like, why not The Little Mermaid movie?
They're considering Naiad. Why did Naiad get in? Why did Naiad get in? That was so why? It's like
wild.
They picked Naiad and the Boys in the Boat over no one's seen Boys in the Boat, but it's like I can't imagine anything in Boys in the Boat being like as big of like a technical achievement as The Little Mermaid was, unless like everyone is like a CGI person and we just don't know it. Like that's the only way I could see that. So with obviously Oppenheimer was gone, but I was kind of anticipating that to not get a nomination. And this makes the third year in a row, I guess, where I've called a big snub. I called this for Oppenheimer again, albeit not this soon. I called it for Everything Ever All at Once. I knew it wasn't going to get the shortlist, and I knew that that The Green Knight wasn't going to get the shortlist. I called all three of those, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe this. But even though, again, wasn't expecting Oppenheimer to miss this soon. So, without I guess for me personally, more so with Little Mermaid just out, this has just become so chaotic, and I would and I guess where are you at with the visual effects category?
Well, you can see me and Cole have just decided all right, Godzilla's it.
It wins.
The reason being wins because it's a highly visible movie. It's doing well at the box office, and film people are really excited about it. It has a nice narrative that it's a very low budget but looks like it's an $100 million movie.
Yeah, I've seen some clips.
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I guess it's the creator is a less of a story because the visual effects are supposed to be amazing. I haven't seen that either, but it didn't do well at the box office, so the story is kind of that it's like a bomb and it wasn't that good. Whereas people are feeling better about Godzilla, they really like that movie. So I'm saying that takes the edge, but I think it's between those two.
I do think maybe Godzilla gets nominated because it's not usually when it comes to movies with low budgets and visual effects, I'm always it's not always about the low budget. It's also about how dynamic are the effects. That's why Everything Ever All there's another reason why Everything Ever All at Once didn't get nominated, but I'll explain that here in a bit. But it's also for example, something like All Quiet on the Western Front, that got in not because they had a low budget, but it was very dynamic. There was a lot going on with the visual effects. It was a big war movie for $20 million. This, from the clips I've seen of Godzilla, good God, $15 million, and there's so much happening and so much destruction. That's insane. And I'm wondering if that gets in, but the reason why I have a number 5 is maybe Transformers could get in over it, and they just because I am anticipating the shortlist to be very more predictable than a lot of people are thinking. I've still said no way to Poor Things getting in. I've still said no way is that happening.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see it.
Yeah, because art house, they never go for art house films and indie films, which, again, fair enough. They're visual effects people, so I'm not really going to complain. But it's also again, I haven't seen Poor Things. So, and this is the thing I've really tried to do. I've looked at everything I could, every clip I could find, every trailer I could find. The visual effects in Poor Things are really just an extension of its art direction and not really a visual effects achievement, if that makes sense. It's
yeah, I kind of agree.
Sort of how Everything Ever All at Once, why I expected that to not get the shortlist is because, yeah, there are visual effects in it, but the visual effects are merely just an extension of its editing, which it did win. And that's kind of why I'm sort of going with that with Poor Things. Yeah. I don't think it makes the shortlist because it's just not a big visual effects achievement. Spider-Verse, though, I think now more than ever, I think it could get in. Because, and if it gets in, it could threaten the win because it is very passionate and there is a lot going on. It is, a very innovative visual effects film, even if it's, an animated film. There's just a lot going on in there, if that makes sense. And so it could definitely win, or at least it could win, depending on how they feel about the creator. What's your take on Spider-Verse?
I think they need to craft the narrative for why it's a visual effects movie. And I don't know about visual effects, they have to teach me, they have to do some kind of campaign around that to make that win. So I was feeling it's possible, but I can't quite justify putting it in just because I still feel confused about how Spider-Verse has these visual effects in it. I'm not sure what that means for it.
Because I would say that.
Yep.
Because I'm sorry to interrupt, but I would say this. out of all the categories, missing Best Picture I don't think would be consequential for Spider-Verse. Because, like, no animated movie has ever been close to getting nominated for Best Picture that got into visual effects. And Kubo and the Two Strings couldn't even win animated feature, and yet it got nominated. So it's like the branch, it does seem like the branch doesn't really care if you're in Best Picture or not. Like with Arrival or Everything Everywhere, it's like, we only care about the visual effects achievements in this. And so that's why I do think Spider-Verse could get in, even if it misses Best Picture.
Yeah.
And your thing with Society of the Snow?
I mean, I think there's a plane crash in it, and, like, obviously they didn't film in, like, the middle of nowhere, right? I mean, probably not, so there's definitely some visual effects there. If the movie takes off and it gets a bunch of text, like, this could be easily one of them.
Maybe. The thing is, I'm wondering if it's 13 Lives, where it's like, it does have, like, subtle visual effects, but it's not enough to get a nomination. That's why you kind of have it on the outskirts right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I do think a lot of the other films are going to get shortlisted, like, you know, all the Marvel movies and Indiana Jones and stuff, because they don't, like, it's not real, like, you do have to look into the box to what are, like, the visual effects films that the visual effects people would go with, and I do feel like a lot of these would probably get in. And again, breezing by some of these, sound, Oppenheimer winning, no,
question.
Yeah, I do think Killers of the Flower Moon could still make it in, especially since that last scene. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but, you know, it's just, like, the last scene is literally a showcase of sound, and it's like, ooh, they might like that. They might like that. And then, you know, Maestro, I think, could definitely get in. Zone of Interest, I mean, especially from what I've been hearing, like, how everyone talks about what you hear in the movie, it's like, all right, yeah, that's gonna get in. Society of the Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you about to say about...
Like I think sound for Zone of Interest is, like, an essential tech to nominate if you want to go for Zone of Interest. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, everything I've been hearing about just sounds like a sound player. Color Purple, I just barely took out because, I don't know. I guess maybe it was me panicking because it didn't make the, like, either NBR or AFI. Like, I don't know. But then again, maybe I'm just wrong and I'm just kind of dumb. But... yeah, and Ferrari, it's a racing movie. You know, I think maybe that, like,
fair
that's
enough.
Yeah, and
that could be enough. I don't really know what to do with Ferrari, honestly, but that very well may be in there. And I don't know about Color Purple and Maestro. Like, I'm not 100%, but I just think, I guess there's enough there. You know?
I'm wondering. The reason why I've been kind of hesitant on Maestro for a bit in sound was because it is, like, I'm wondering if it's Tar, because I thought Tar was going to make the shortlist and it didn't. And so, we'll have to...
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's
fair. I don't know exactly what to do with Maestro. I almost think Society of the Snow might be number 2. And I feel, like, pretty confident about Zone of Interest. Like, compared to The Color Purple and Maestro a little bit. But I'm not going to, like, deny that a musical and Best Picture gets sound. Like, that's pretty, you know, straightforward. So maybe Maestro is my number 5. Like, I could change it around a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, the winner is obvious. It's just the other nominees. It's just like, what's happening? But yeah. Original score. I think obviously Oppenheimer's winning this.
Yep.
I do have Indiana Jones in.
Wow.
Look, I think it's, and I watched the video today. And why Cole mentioned that John Williams was never nominated at the Globes for the Star Wars movies. Here's a little factoid. The Star Wars sequels did not qualify for the Golden Globes because they released too late. That's a little factoid.
Okay.
Yeah, they were released too late for the eligibility. That's a little factoid. And I don't know, they do really go for Indiana Jones. And even though John Williams missed for The Post, he still got nominated for The Last Jedi, which came out the same exact year. So it's like he just manages to get in. And I don't know. Even watching Dial of Destiny, I mean, the movie's kind of like, but I was like, I do really like the score here. And stuff. Killers of the Flower Moon, I don't know. Maybe that gets in. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's either really.
Oh, it's totally going to get in.
It's tough.
The composer like passed away. Like it's like a posthumous nomination opportunity, and he's been nominated before, and it was really good. It's like it's definitely going to get in. I think.
Yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't nominate it. I mean, granted, I don't know what I would nominate because like there's just so many great scores. But I don't know. it would have to be like a really crazy snub, because I don't know. I'm thinking maybe Wonka gets in, because it's like, you know, it could be like Mary Poppins Returns or something like that, where it does get that kind of big buzz and stuff. Past Lives, I think I think Past Lives could still get in. Poor Things, I've listened to a couple of the tracks from Poor Things. They are really good, like very kind of weird and stuff. Maybe I should consider Spider-Verse even more, because I do want that to happen, but it just depends on how passionate they are for Spider-Verse. God, I really want Ninja Turtles to get in. Look, like that's like the second best score of the year for me. Oh my God, like that.
Wow.
It's such a good score, but I know for a fact it's not happening. And Elemental.
Yeah.
Elemental could happen. Any last thoughts on score?
Not really. I think this could shake up a lot, but I'm kind of rooting for Spider-Verse here. And yeah.
Song, God, I really want I'm Just Ken to get in. I mean to win. I really want that to happen, but I'm worried it's going to be the Billie Eilish song. I'm very worried it's going to be the Billie Eilish song.
We have the same top 5 here? Oh, no, we don't. I see. You have Rustin in there.
No, yeah.
Oh, you don't have a Color Purple song in there.
Yeah, you have Color Purple and Keep It Moving.
Yeah, you have a Color Purple song.
Yeah, unless you updated it and I forgot. I don't know.
No. I still have it in, of course.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have Color Purple. I don't know. Maybe that could. Again, I'm worried that I may have just like panicked, like or did I always have it in? I'm not sure. But it's like I just don't know. I feel like the first 4 are safe. It's or like probably happening. It's just like that last one. Unless 80 for Brady gets snubbed in favor of of Flaming Hot, which obviously she's happening regardless of whether we want it or not. I didn't like Mario. I didn't like the Mario movie, but I kind of do want Peaches to get in. It was a really funny song, and the idea of Oscar nominee Jack Black would be really hilarious. But yeah, animated feature. This is also going to be one where okay, there we go. I'm thinking Disney just gets shut out this year. I don't think Elemental's reviews are strong enough for a nomination. Or even the audience reviews, like they're still not even that strong, because it's like Nimona has stronger, I looked at both the even regardless if it was Letterboxd or IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes or something like that, Nimona still had it above Elemental last time I checked. And it's just I don't know, I feel like Disney's just not having a great year this year. And Wish, I mean, good God, that movie died.
Gone.
Is deceased. And Elemental, it's just not that great. It's just kind of.
Did you see it? I actually didn't see it, which sucks for me.
Yeah, I did see it.
There's a lot of people who are passionate about it, though, and then it had an interesting run at the box office where it had very long legs for some reason. I think Elemental still makes it in as a Pixar movie that people generally like.
The reason why I'm thinking Elemental doesn't get in is over the past decade, there has never been a Disney movie that got low 80s or below on Rotten Tomatoes that got nominated. Even the ones that no one thought would get snubbed, Good Dinosaur, Monsters University, Frozen 2, all these really big. Even I would probably even say Cars 3, considering 2017 wasn't a great year for animated movies. All those movies got snubbed, despite them, or at least 3 of those, being strong contenders. I mean, Frozen 2 even got everything and it got snubbed. That's why I'm thinking Elemental, gets snubbed at the last second, because...
I like your thinking here, yeah. I think that's a good argument.
Yeah, it's just they just don't... basically, because Elemental does have its fans... But if a lot of people if the majority of people don't love your Disney movie, you are not safe. You are vulnerable. And I can already just see it now, with how bad of a year Disney's gotten on their 100th anniversary, and they get shut out of Best Animated Feature. That I can already see that, because all these other films just make too much sense. Spider-Verse, Boy and the Heron, Ninja Turtles, I'm really hoping that happens. Good God, I want Ninja Turtles to... I'm not even a big Ninja Turtles in general fan, but I loved that movie. Nimona, really liked Nimona. I love that. I love Nimona. And like Chicken Run, I'm still thinking could get in. Like the reviews didn't start off amazingly, but they're kind of climbing their way up, like slowly but gradually. Unless like Suzume just out of nowhere becomes like that thing. Like I do want to see what the Annies do to see what potential contender could overtake Elemental, like sort of like how the Sea Beast like just supposedly came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Annies will shower Elemental. I think they'll like all these. I don't know though. I mean, maybe they'll do something unexpected though. Like
I mean, like the Annies definitely will nominate. I mean, they nominated a lot of the other movies I mentioned as well. But it's like I'm looking up for the Annies to see what any other potential threats there could be. Yeah. But I just don't think Elemental is just happening. It's just not good enough. That's just what I'm thinking.
But I think I would agree with you. Maybe if like Chicken Run though, like I'm kind of if I was more convinced about Chicken Run, then I could take it out. But
that's the thing. I'm
not quite convinced enough about Chicken Run, but it could happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Again, unless it would have to be something like it's either like Chicken Run or Suzume, or unless somehow like Robot Dreams comes out of nowhere and just like bam.
I don't see that though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So I think this is a top 6 though. I think this is like it. Wish is I'm glad we agree. Wish is gone.
It's just dead. Like no one's hated a Disney movie this much since Chicken Little.
Yeah,
but international feature. I think The Zone of Interest is winning. And this was also a last minute change on my part in Society of the Snow. So yeah, Perfect Days.
I think this is right.
Yeah, Taste of Things. I'm kind of surprised at how low so many people have 20 Days in Mariupol is on their lists, because it's like everything about it is the right ingredients. At least I'm granted I haven't seen it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it, but it's just I don't know.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where like I wonder if people are gonna change how they see that after they see it. It definitely is important and enough to like be one of those documentaries that makes it in, but it's a really hard watch, and it's also like not really like, I guess it's not really a movie that focuses on its construction, or like it's obviously not really its cinematography or anything, because it's like all handheld. It's very like, it's almost like just watching camcorder footage, very gruesome.
It's just one of those. It's just one of those things where it's like, because like when I was looking at the next best picture, only one person had it in their top 10. I was like, that low? It's that low? I don't know.
It's probably not that low. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, Monk and the Gun could maybe happen. Again, I kind of had to take
There's
that.
A lot of stuff that could maybe happen.
Yeah, who knows what could happen?
Yeah, it's kind of like anybody's guess what that number 5 is.
This 4 seems very safe.
Even Fallen Leaves could come up quite a bit. Fallen Leaves could do well with international nominations, like if it gets Golden Globe, and that could come up.
Yeah, that could definitely happen. There's just a lot of potential questions.
Yes, definitely.
And then finally, documentary feature. We're both thinking Beyond Utopia. Oh shit! Oh boy! There we go. It could either be like, I think it might be Beyond.
Oh, you have The Mother of All Lies. That's funny.
I don't know,
because no one has that right now.
I don't know. I kind of took it was from a little bit did come from the Indie Spirits video where you were saying
exactly though
it's like 3 out of 5. It's like, okay, maybe I do want to try to jump on this a bit.
Yep.
So who knows? Maybe this happens.
I'm just absorbing Cole's confidence in that movie and in these like precursors that he thinks are highly correlative. So that's why I have Going to Mars, 4 Daughters, and The Mother of All Lies. Like that's it.
Yeah,
that's
I'm especially really relying on that video, because it's like out of all the categories, I probably, other than the short films, I know practically nothing about documentary features. So
And it's not going to be like, it's like no one knows what's happening with documentary right now. Like we just don't. We have to be honest about that. We don't even know if Beyond Utopia could get snubbed. Like you can never tell. The frontrunner gets snubbed all the time.
Yeah, I made a joke on Twitter like, whatever wins Critics' Choice is definitely not getting nominated for documentary. You can just count that out. And then it was Still, and it's like, well, I mean, I was kind of already expecting Still to not get nominated. At the Oscars, so it's
right.
It's so strange how that got nominated, or like that won, and it's like, really, that seems too predictable. It's too predictable.
Yep.
So it's like, again, who knows? Maybe none of these happen, and it's just like, I don't know, little like my octopus teacher 2, Electric Boogaloo gets in. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, those are our predictions for the Oscars. Again, I hope I didn't keep you on for too long or ever.
No, you're fine. I had a good time.
Yeah,
This was fun.
And I really do want to thank you for coming on. Like, I'm doing this because I started getting into Oscar predictions because you and Cole really showed that you could do this kind of stuff and in a way that's accessible and exciting. Because like the editing, like in the freakouts and stuff, that's what this community needs. Like trying to make things more accessible and entertaining, and really trying to do something innovative with something that admittedly is kind of a niche thing that we want to try to grow and build to be a bigger thing. Like whether it's, you and Cole in the crazy edits and the freakouts, or the film drunk and his weird euphemisms and, the funny stuff he says, or Ryan Castleman and his unbelievable like production value with his Oscar predictions. Like all of it is, I feel like could give the Oscars and the Oscar predictions and stuff potentially a second life, to where people will because there's people that are saying, oh, who cares about the Oscars anymore, but this kind of stuff what you guys do, I feel like is gonna make people interested again, if that makes sense.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty nice. I mean, it's fun. It's just fun to be passionate about anything. And even if it's something that's, maybe a little silly or stupid as the Oscars, like if that's what you're into, then, it's nice that people feel like empowered to have fun with it. So I appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. And also, you have an app coming out, I'm assuming. It's, why don't you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the reason we are doing this today is, partially a sort of a favor, in exchange, because Christian helped me build the app icon for my app, which is on the iOS store, which you can download. It's called A Word Expert. And this poor man can't even use it because it's not on Android yet, but it will soon be on Android. And, hopefully it's a prediction app that Oscar enthusiasts will love to use. And this is just the first year that it exists, so there's a lot more to build out, a lot more features that I'm excited to do, a long list of them. But, we're building the foundation for it, and yeah, you can try it out if you have an iPhone. But if you are on Android, you will have to wait a couple months, unfortunately. With
your support, viewers, maybe I could use this app one of these days. But yeah. Thank you very much for coming on. This is really a blast. Like, I've been really anticipating this day for like months now. It's not been a great year for me, I'm not gonna lie. It's been really shitty, and this
sorry to hear that.
Hey, thanks. It's just been tough, but like having discovered you guys last year, or not last year, I think it was around the beginning of this Oscar season or something like that. I think it was like January. Having discovered you guys, and it was watching the videos, being really entertained. It made me want to do this, and now I've honestly seen more consistent success on my YouTube channel than ever doing these Oscar predictions, and this is this is one of the highlights of my YouTube career, honestly.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm really glad.
Hey,
I hope your channel continues to do well. I love finding channels like yours and like seeing what people are getting up to, even though even when they're like starting small, it's fun for me. I do watch other people's predictions.
Thank you, and again, thank you for coming on. And consider hitting that subscribe button, because if you don't, maybe a words expert will never come on to the Androids.
That's a threat.